Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. Coming out of SideQuest Studios, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 93. Hello there, I am your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill, and joining me tonight is Jimmy Mac.
Oh, g'day guys.
And Phil Calloway.
Good evening.
And here as always, except when he's not, BT Calloway.
My mom says I'm cool.
She sure does.
I disagree.
Mum say you were cool, you were the cool one?
No, Mum doesn't use the word cool. She uses phrases like, why hasn't Ben got a girlfriend? And doesn't accept answers like, I don't know.
Classic mum catchphrase.
Yep.
And
Down.
guys are joining me. This is the Simpsons Index. This is the podcast where we watch and review 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time. But there's a twist. Each episode must come from a different decade. But before we get into Simpsons chat, guys, we had Chinese food tonight, so naturally, we got fortune cookies. And so now, live on air, we are going to find out what our fortunes are.
I was going to avoid opening it in mic, but screw you.
I'm going to crack one
no,
in the
we
mic.
want that crunch sound.
Oh, there you go. That's a good crack.
A good cookie.
Oh, wait, you're eating it before you read it?
Just a little.
What
All
if it says, don't eat me, I'm poisonous?
So starting with you, Jimmy Mac, what is your fortune?
There's even a small gift could mean so much to someone today.
Oh.
So sweet.
Like a fortune cookie.
Yeah.
Like a fortune cookie.
How about you, Phil?
Mine says, express yourself to your family member in the great day. I'm not sure what that means.
Do you have anything to say to Ben?
Ben, in the greatness of this day, I'm wearing pink.
P.S. Get a girlfriend.
Shut up, Mum.
Well, I got make the most of every minute with your family, so... What up, Phil?
Air high five.
Yeah. And I got all will go well with your new project. Simpsons
man.
Index fans, stay tuned, apparently. All right.
Actually, your new project
Cookie
was
podcast.
Let's open fortune cookies on air.
Yep.
The podcast where we open and eat fortune cookies.
The catch is we get 3.
BT, how could you be addicted to this?
It's terrible.
I don't
Well,
get
it's
it.
not my brand. Well,
For the listener at home, we were having a discussion over dinner. What's your favourite cookie? And BT had the startling
Kung Fu
revelation.
Sing, fortune cookies.
Not just your favourite cookie, but your favourite food,
Yep.
full stop.
Yep.
Better than spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah.
Better than spaghetti bolognese on lasagna.
First of all, that sounds
Whoa.
really difficult to eat.
So BT, would that be your last meal on
Yep.
Earth? Would be a box of
Just-
fortune cookies.
Oh no, I'd be a fuck ton of boxes.
Many boxes. Brilliant.
69 boxes, please.
Are you just trying to get sponsorship for the show?
Sponsor us Kung Fu Sing fortune cookies.
Like, you're on the Green Mile, you're getting ready to
Yep.
be executed.
Yep.
You ask for fortune cookies.
Yes.
Something which predicts the future.
Yes.
So you'd either there'd be a bad taste in your mouth from the fortune cookie or from the lack of foresight of the fortune cookie.
Yeah, if one of them says you're going to die pretty soon, wow, spot on. But most of them are going to be like, look, like obviously you got something wrong here. None of these fortunes say I'm dying today.
Oh, you think you could use it as your argument to get
Yeah,
out of the
based on
Green
my
Mile?
jury of fortune cookies, you've got the wrong man.
All right, that does it for the Fortune Cookie Index. So now we're getting back to the Simpsons Index, where we just watched an episode from the HD era. This was Season 28, Episode 3, The Town. First released in October of 2016, directed by Rob Oliver, written by Dave King. In this episode, the Simpsons ship out to Boston. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What do you think?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, I actually quite liked it.
I also liked it. I like the football references.
There are a lot of those where you two are laughing and Elliot and I are just like, Sorry, more accurately, nah.
It's, just crickets rubbing their legs in my head.
That's oddly sexual.
Yeah, I like to bring Phil the football episodes, and James, you're a bit of a NFL fan as well.
Yeah, that had some good bits in it. I liked the hoodie.
Yes, the Emperor as
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick, yeah. And
Who's Bill Belichick for those of us, i.e. me and BT?
head coach of the New England Patriots.
Yeah?
And the very handsome man you kept seeing was Tom Brady, also of the New England Patriots. There was a running series of jokes.
Yeah, I've
throughout
only
it,
ever
yeah.
heard him in reference to handsomeness. So
Sexily
that's
dropping
a
back.
Yeah, throwing an attractive, handsomely takes us a snap.
So just as a bit of fun trivia as well, this episode aired the week after the Super Bowl LI, where it was like the Patriots versus the Falcons or something.
Yes.
the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. That's right.
For a bit of sports background to that, the Falcons blew a historically large lead in the Super Bowl, 28-3 up,
Oh, that's right. I remember
and went on
that.
to lose kind of an unexpected, win from behind from the Patriots.
Did Boston cheat?
Not in that game, arguably. Not with a brown painted volleyball.
Yeah.
That was a good joke.
Were they involved in Inflategate? They weren't they?
They were, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I figured that was a reference to, because even I picked up on that.
Just double checking.
Well, that
facts.
one I know because of the South Park episode where Cartman goes into an inner city school and he's teaching the kids the power of cheating. And
How do I reach these kids?
And he talks about Bill Belichick. And so, yeah, after that episode, I researched just like, oh, wow, what a cheater.
That all just came flooding back. And how do I teach these kids? And
Yeah.
I misinterpreted the rules.
Yeah. So, BT, what is a moment from this episode that stands out to you for better or worse?
I do really like, because they decide Bart's, gone on this whole he loves Boston, or the Boston Americans as they're called in this, not the Patriots. That they're going to visit Boston on a hatecation. As someone who thoroughly enjoys a good hate watch
Yeah.
and is now curious what a hate boat is, I got a good chuckle out of the idea.
Yeah, especially Lisa going, hate Cajun, hate watch. Can't people just like the things they like?
I think they had hate voting in there.
I thought
yeah.
it was hate boating.
Oh, maybe.
I heard hate voting.
I heard voting, but boating could also work because I kind of hate boating as well.
Yeah, it's taken me a few fishing trips to realize that fishing is kind of shit.
You do it to get drunk.
Oh, fuck, I've been doing it wrong.
Yeah, Ben's got it.
But yeah, Homer's line in response to Lisa as well being, because watching things you like doesn't fill you up with sweet, delicious rage and hatred. And it's like, oh my God, that's exactly why we're doing the Simpsons Index.
No, it's because someone needs to do this public service of teaching people what the bad episodes are.
Yeah, you're like a free library.
Yeah.
That's it. How about you, Phil? What is a moment from this episode?
Also known as a library.
But they always make you sign up for membership. Where do you think that data's going, big brother? They know that you've got 72 copies of Anne and Green Gables.
Good. I want them to know.
They don't know what he's doing with them, though.
Neither do I.
How about you, Phil? What's a moment from this episode that stands out to you for better or worse?
I quite like the whole mechanism that they went from Springfield to Boston in. Like, there's other episodes we've seen, especially newer ones, where they've just gone, what? This is ridiculous. We're going to Boston, and then run out and straight away. But this had a good build into it and a nice story, and like had a reasonable, logical assumption behind it.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that whole machination.
Yeah, this episode did have a certain flow to it, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for something that was a little bit, the Simpsons are going to blank, it actually carried along quite well.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the worst of the Simpsons go to
Oh,
blank.
my, no.
How about you, Jimmy? What's a moment from this episode that stands out to you for better or worse?
I really quite liked Free Car when Homer discovers he can't get the Boston American sticker off the car, so he just writes Free Car and jumps out the window, and that's it.
And then later on, you get a quick glimpse of Mo driving it around.
Driving away.
Yeah.
Was that Mo in there? Was
Yeah.
like he was someone going,
Yeah, it was definitely the Mo.
Yeah, I really like that. That was a good little gag. Watching this episode, it really helps that we got some context coming into it. I actually wrote down, is this an ad for Boston tourism?
I know, right?
It was so heavy on
Oh, yeah.
how good's Boston.
And
And
the
even
iconography.
they showed you universities and museums and pieces of historical importance. And it just felt like I was watching an ad for Boston tourism. And I would not be surprised if there was some sort of money involved in that decision.
Yeah, because the only bad thing I have to say about Boston is Homer in the end is the traffic and the subtle racism or whatever.
Marge's like, wasn't that unspoken?
Oh, yeah, unspoken, yeah. Yeah, so I agree with you because, it was just going from landmark to landmark. How good are our universities? And Candlestick Bowling, oh my God, the best. Which I'll say is the moment from the episode that stood out to me was Homer's big turn was based on Candlestick Bowling, which it sort of felt a little forced, but it did warm my heart a little.
Yeah, I had the same thing of like, I should dislike this more, but I'm kind of enjoying it.
yeah, I think it kind of worked in the context of Homer being who Homer was. Like, I don't think for a normal person that would be the thing that turns him, but he then went on to montage of bowling, so...
Yeah, so
He's
like
that
they
kind
were
of guy.
setting up the montage like they were about to do a bunch of Boston-y things, but they just go to 6 different candlepin bowling places.
Which I
Yeah.
feel all their names must have been puns I didn't get.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
get any of them either, apart from the Lakers suck bowling alley.
Well, yeah, look, this episode is just lousy with Boston references and like even the
That sounds like a Boston reference.
oh, it's so
Just
lousy.
lousy with
I was
them.
about to say, if you're going to say it, throw into it.
This is the segment where we all adopt horrible Boston accents.
Yeah, Springfield
Yeah,
screw jobs.
So listen here, chowderheads. How many times have you watched this episode before tonight?
I ain't never seen it. I forgot what accent I'm doing.
You sound like a Chicago mobster.
Yeah, go suck a lemon.
I've never seen it neither. I don't know what I don't even know how to do it.
It's actually it's fun to try.
I'm going 0.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
I ain't
James.
seen it. Chow to head. Chow down.
It's shoulder head.
Say it, Frenchie.
Out here.
Yeah, I will say that I have seen this once before, and I hated this the first time I watched it.
You were prepping us for something terrible, and I got to admit, when I was in this one, I'm like, it's not bad.
Yeah, I'm a bit.
I was expecting it to turn much harder than
I'm okay with it.
It was more of a slow decline than a hard turn into terribleness. It definitely ran at a speed, and I started writing less and less notes for each ad break.
Yeah,
Sorry, fewer and fewer.
I'd say this is one where they definitely did that whiteboard writing that we accuse them of. You know, write the topic on the head of a whiteboard and just write down everything you know about a place. Or,
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially, in the Simpsons go-to one, because, they fit everything in here. Paul Revere, candlestick bowling, clam bakes, and numerous references to Boston cream pie, which is apparently a cake.
Sure.
Yeah, don't know what it is.
Kind of
What
want
is
to
it?
eat it, but,
Not really. Just, if it's got cream as the only ingredient in the listing of the name, not interested.
Right, well.
Not a cream pan?
Not enough to chase it down. Like if someone goes, "Would you like a cream finger bun?" Like, no.
The Boston cream pie is a yellow butter cake. It is a cake that
Nice.
is filled with custard or cream and topped with a chocolate glaze.
I think I was right.
Oh, that sounds fucking awesome.
I'd eat that. Yeah, that sounds good.
No,
No?
you're all fools.
A custard cake covered in chocolate.
No.
What? What part of those words was bad?
Custard, butter,
What?
cream.
Custard?
That's
No.
just amazing.
Yeah, what are you, 90?
No, I'm like 7. It's delicious. It's sweet. It's not
Oh, no, that's
easy
not-
to eat.
That's fine. If you're 7, you can have custard as much as you want.
Thanks.
Probably too much.
You're only just going to accuse me more of being an old soul, but one of the most best things I've ever eaten was a butterscotch flavored custard.
Wow.
Oh, Elliot, you old soul. That doesn't just sound right.
You just got wowed by a guy who wants to eat death row fortune cookies. I wouldn't take that shit from him.
No, I'm not. That sounds like there's an interesting story behind that.
No, that sounds like an awesome band name as well.
Yeah.
Death Row Fortune Cookies.
Hashtag Death Row Fortune Cookies. Yeah.
I'm writing that down to our list of band names.
Yes, along with Sugar Rush Death Dream and
It's Mouse Rat all over again.
yeah, it really is.
Super Queen and the Groove Tuners.
That's we had so many good bands. So how about some of the wacky moments of this episode? What were sort of the cartoony elements that stood out to you guys?
Oh, there was a recurring cartoon gag with the dog being shipped to its new city. First time wrapped up in bubble wrap, second time covered in the packaging peanuts.
Yeah.
I really liked that. It was good.
I had a little bit of a chuckle when it came out wrapped in bubble wrap. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's kind of funny. And then it walked around and bumped into about 3 things, but it
And
was like,
popped all the bubbles.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm not a monster.
There was a lot going on in the background of this one. A bit I got a chuckle out of early on is the back of the Crustios box has just the world's easiest maze.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 2 corners. And also when Lisa's going through all the various nerds, there's a chainmail ping pong, which just sounds really hard.
And yo-yo girls and yo-yo guys and nerds with ferrets and
One little bit of wackiness I wanted to point out. When they're in the candlestick bowling, Bart's wearing pants. Not shorts. Pants. I feel like this is the beginning of his transition because later on he does a full costume change when they move to Boston.
I liked that design as well.
Not that kind of transition.
They did make a
They
transsexual
did.
joke, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did. No gender reassignment surgery, too ambiguous. Would
And no
make me,
neck tattoo so grotesque or something like that.
Yeah, that Bart could do all those things, but not wear a Boston hat to make Homer ashamed of him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was a weird line.
Yeah, they're really selling that my family's a Springfield Adams household and not a Boston household.
Yeah.
That was a bit contrived.
I guess that's kind of what brings me down on this episode is how contrived it is. Like, what do you guys think of the hat scene? You know, he's trying to put the Boston hat on his head, but it's like a polar opposite magnets thing. What'd you think of that?
Yeah.
Honestly, it was kind of dumb because he can live in a city and not like their team. That's fine. I'm doing it right now.
You're doing it
With all their
technically
teams.
at every city you've lived in.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy.
Who's the local one? I don't care.
What team do you follow? No. I didn't even say what spot. No.
Nope.
I felt that hat gag gave me enough time to figure out what the rest of the episode was going to do, and then was unsurprised by any of it, apart from Styrofoam Peanuts dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and he won't wear it, and that's how he reset to 0.
Yeah.
The end.
Which, at least it's sort of a callback to the whole Bart wearing a hat thing, setting up the story, but also, yeah, it didn't do a lot for me.
No, it wasn't great. It was not a good part of the episode.
Any other wacky things you guys want to bring up?
Homer did almost get crushed to death by a cart full of bobbleheads
Oh, yeah.
that
Yeah.
then tried to jiggle him to death. I found that
Odd.
not funny.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is bobbleheads a Boston thing that we don't know?
I'm
I
gonna
don't
have
know
to
either.
assume.
Again, yeah.
All
do
the
anything.
people from Boston just have bobbly heads in
Yeah.
general.
And they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
normal statues.
Yeah.
The one bit I did like about this is how the Bostonian was trying to warn Homer about it. He's going, the cart. And Homer thought
The
he was
cart?
saying, the cot.
Nah, the cart. Some early wackiness I got a good joke out of, which was Marge is like, before you go to the bar, you have to put the kids to bed. And he just kind of lugs them all upstairs, throws them all in one bed, reads them the Wizard of Oz, and goes, oh, kind of what he says, like,
Everything after the tornado was a dream.
yeah, and just covers them with a sheet and leaves.
I do
That
admire the so efficientness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was only a small bit out of it, but Homer goes looking for a job as a safety inspector. He looks like he's working in what appears from a long shot to be a power plant.
Yeah.
He's sitting at a desk just like Springfield, and there's glowing things going down a runway. We find out it's a candy factory. And then he thinks he can't hurt anyone, bumps a button, and it dumps hot liquid candy all over 4 workers who become drenched in it.
Yeah, which I didn't like, but I did like that the candy then hardened. They
Yeah.
were kind of locked in the position.
Like Han Solo
Yeah.
frozen. I thought it was like a really clever... They just riffed on what you thought his job would be in a new city, but even his new job was a better Bostonian version of a Springfield job.
And like
It was
the
a candy
candies
factory.
had that same green as like the nuclear tubes from the opening
Yeah.
scene. And yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
it's
a
good.
bunch of inanimate carbon rods that
Yep.
are going on the thing. But no, anyway, so talking Boston as well, how about the heart of this episode?
Or the heart.
Did you guys feel any bumps?
No,
I
no,
ain't feel no bumps.
not for me either.
I think they were trying to go for it with Lisa.
Yeah, but if I feel anything about that, I just feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also she didn't really integrate into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
saw it and was like, "Oh, this is great. This is all the things I want." And we saw her go to school for 12 seconds,
Mhm.
and then that was the end of Lisa having a great time in Boston. Like we didn't really see her make friends or join the chainmail ping pong table.
Yep.
That would have been good, actually, if she made some Bostonian friends. And then Bart was the loner.
Yeah, let's spend a little bit more time doing that, developing that, and yeah, maybe we'd feel something.
And they kind of went to that stage where it flipped and Bart was the one who didn't like Boston. Everyone else loved
Yeah.
it. And they could have really just put Lisa into it a lot more, but seeing she was ultimately the one you're supposed to feel bad for at the other end. But it didn't really happen.
Yeah, that's why I saw the hat being like the reason that they go back to Springfield is sort of a bit lame. It should have been a more tense thing where Lisa was like trying to stop Bart at every turn to sabotage their lives in Boston.
Yeah.
Skip ahead to what would I change, but spend less time with Bart in Springfield raving about Boston.
Yeah.
He goes on about The Departed and the town and some other stuff, and it's just, that was a lot of nothing for a long time.
Yeah, there was a weird Boondock Saints reference, I think, as well.
Yeah, that was on the TV show that he was watching.
Yeah,
where they all
yeah.
had guns and hockey masks.
Although there was a good joke that, I got to get one of those X necklaces.
Yep.
Reminds me of the Arrested Development ones. Where do I get those necklaces with the T? It's a cross. It's a cross from where? But ultimately, though, guys, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Whew. It felt like a vehicle for jokes. I'm going to say, seeing as there was nothing really dry, I guess no one's off character, though.
Yeah, it was like homeopathy Simpsons. There's like one part diluted into 1,000 parts water.
Mm.
Sure. I mean, it's definitely a Simpsons go-to, but no one was really breaking their character, I thought.
No. Marge was less naggy, if anything.
Yeah.
She was loving that Boston lifestyle.
Yeah. Was her idea.
And for what little we got of Lisa in this episode, I felt like they played into her character really well.
No, it made sense as a place full of history and culture, which Springfield has none.
Yeah. I will say, though, Homer did look extra animated in certain sections. Like he had a lot of exaggerated movements, especially in that opening bit at the breakfast table. I'm sorry, where am I? Is this my house? And just his movements are super Disney in that moment.
Mm.
So yes or no, would you watch this one again?
Yeah, I guess.
I probably wouldn't, but I wouldn't throw things at the TV if it was on.
Sure.
Yeah, with the Hangover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hangover test for sure.
Yeah, I might watch it again. You know, what playlist do we put this in?
I mean, go to is the obvious.
Simpsons go to. Could pair this with The Departed and see if there's any other Boston-y
Yeah.
episodes. Oh, sorry. They did an episode called The Departed where they pretty much did The Departed, but with Bart.
Yep.
Oh.
Tell you what,
should
pair
see
this with, I'm pretty sure there's a Seinfeld episode where Elaine's wearing is it a Baltimore hat or is it
Yes,
a Boston hat?
The Orioles or something?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the Orioles, and she's kicked out of the owners' seats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pair it with
second
that,
row.
why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Pair it with that.
It's a cross-series playlist.
Yeah.
Other question, is Cheers set in Boston?
I didn't know that.
I had an inkling, and I thought when they first moved into their townhouse,
Yeah,
it was
it's got a lot
a
of kind
Cheers-esque
of a
type
pal
of music.
point of Cheers music, yeah.
but then they never put Homer in the bar. That's
I was really expecting it,
yeah,
yeah.
I thought that would be up there, but maybe it's too old for all the new kids kicking around the block.
Indeed. What with their, I don't know, what's a show that's on at the moment? Parks and Rec. Damn it.
You wanna take
Even
that
when
one
we're
again?
relevant, we're 8 years late.
And hurtful.
Yeah.
Put it back on.
Oh, it had its run.
So, BT, you've already sort of said it. Is there anything else you'd like to change about this episode?
Just give it more structure. The jokes are actually pretty good in this one, and that's what's going to really be the big, when it comes to rank it, the big boost for me is going to be I had a lot of chuckles out of this one, but it's just there was no real story or nothing to really... It moved quickly, though, which is also weird that it didn't exactly have a plot line or a storyline, but it moved briskly, so...
Yeah.
Just give it something to give it more weight. Follow Lisa for a bit more. Spend more time in Boston rather than getting to Boston, because all it would really take is Bart refusing to take off the hat, and Homer's eventually like, "Oh well, let's just go to your stupid Boston."
Yeah.
Instead, he's like sells it a lot harder. So yeah, that'd be my changes to it.
How about you, Phil? Anything you'd like to change about this episode?
I had a good number of jokes in it, but there were a lot of jokes that were very Boston-centric. And
Yeah.
not knowing jack all about Boston, I didn't get any of the funnies in those ones. And if I'd been like BT and not known any of the football things, that's like 80% of the jokes that are slightly over your head immediately.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I do kind of agree with what BT said about the length of time it took to get into the Boston part of the episode. Like I think it was a 4-arc story, this one, and it was 2 arcs before they even got there. So like,
Cut it down to one.
yeah, it could have been a lot faster. Like I didn't think it was bad and it wasn't like overworked, but there's a lot of things you could have dropped and the episode wouldn't have missed it getting into Boston to start with. Other than that, yeah, make Lisa feel it a bit more so we can feel for her.
How about you, James? What would you like to change about this episode?
Probably the same. I'd either do more football or much less football. But the amount of football was made me unhappy. It was like enough to make me think it was about football, but then not enough for it to satisfy me. I felt
Enough
underwhelmed.
to tempt you and tease.
It was
Yeah.
the striptease of football.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah.
that handsome Tom Brady. But then I agree. The whole episode was really about the reversal of the family not feeling the same way about Boston at various times. So I don't know why we just start with a 15-minute segment about football.
Yeah, well, I'd say that's what I'd change is that opening bar scene, although it did probably lead to my favourite material in the episode, it did go on a bit too long with Homer and the Southies just arguing with each other.
Yeah.
And the ring kissing thing was weird. I was like,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a thing that they're doing. Stop
I don't
doing
know,
it.
but
Stop making kissing noises.
Very weird. It's unsettling for us. The people at home don't know what's going on.
Take your foot out of your mouth.
Because I did like the joke where to prove they're not cheaters, they say they won 12 titles in 10 years.
Yeah. That was just maggots crawling on the coin to adjust the coin flip.
And I did like them defending Flappy the Flag just being part of the roster.
Yeah.
He's on the roster.
That's right. You gotta cover him. He's on the roster. I still don't know what Boston people sound like.
Yeah. So I guess at the end, actually, jumping on, Seinfeld did it. Yeah, I'd totally have that moment of Homer in a football game watching them and he's wearing an Adams hat or something.
Yeah, and that gets all the aggression that we've heard about turned on him.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd lead to it a lot better. Guest stars for the episode. Oh boy, there was a lot of them. Look, I don't exactly know who played who when, but in this episode, comedian Bill Burr, Michael Chiklis from The Shield, who apparently played the quarterback who might have been that like derpy guy.
Oh, Bonkowski.
Is that who?
So
That
there's
was the guy.
there's a gag on Gronkowski, but he got famous very briefly for being photographed with a porn star on his Instagram or something. So he's Bonkowski. Also, he's famously kind of dopey.
Oh, okay.
That was
How
the
did
running
that make
gag.
him famous? The president does that now.
This was pre-Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just.
How the world changed.
Yeah, the search for the world's dumbest guy was a lot harder. Now he just tweets at you.
Oh, actually, no. It says here handsome quarterback. So he was probably the one, like the Tom Brady sort of guy.
Can't afford to get Tom Brady, get Michael Chiklis.
Yeah, the bit where he appears in bed with Homer as Marge's fantasy. It's like,
Yeah, that was
He
weird.
just says, do your job, Homer.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, do your job is the New England Patriots
Oh,
way. It's like their motto.
I thought that was just how Marge
Do
told
your
him it was
job.
go time.
That's how what I thought as well. I mean, even if it wasn't Tom Brady, it's terrifying.
Oh, it is.
Do your job. But I don't want to.
I'm glad I got you guys on the podcast because, so much of this stuff flew over my head. And Rachel Dratch was one of the doctors. She's one of the power players from Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
She's a just astoundingly talented improv character actress. And, big fan of her. And playing Lisa's teacher was Doris Kearns Goodwin.
Oh, they actually named her as the teacher.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Who is that?
I didn't know before I looked up Wikipedia. Doris Kearns Goodwin is actually a presidential biographer. She's written a lot of biographies on presidents, and she's a journalist and all that sort of stuff. So
Must be a weird job. You only get to work every 4 to 8 years.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure it takes a lot of research.
No, sure it does. But
Works for one day of the 4-year presidency. I'm going to write a story about you today.
Yep. All right.
Hope it's
Today,
good.
Donald went to the kitchen. Oh, yeah. There was no peanut butter. What? And then he found some. Oh, okay. And then he declared war. All right. Stamp.
I mean, you laugh now. But
Yeah.
I think I just merged Elvis and Donald Trump in my head.
Kind of. Anyway. Also, Dana Gould, he's comedian, former Simpsons writer. Mike Mitchell, have you guys seen Love on Netflix?
No.
Nope.
He's the fat best friend on that. And Jason Nash played a bunch of other people, and he's a Vine guy.
What?
He's a fine guy.
Vine guy.
He's famous for being
He's
on
a
Vine.
Vine guy?
Yeah, he did the Vines, and he did them good.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Superman does Vines good. You do Vines well.
Damn it.
What's going on?
Vine was
The social media platform of this very short videos.
What? I don't ever need to know the name of anyone who's ever a Vines guy. So you take that and delete it
Especially
from the world.
seeing as Vine hasn't been a platform for 2 years. So.
Yeah, I know. He is actually a comedian and a performer in his own right, but that's how he shot to popularity.
I reject him and his existence.
He's not God.
Doesn't matter. Rejected.
Oh, musical moments.
Other than the Cheers Pal port, I don't think there was one.
Oh,
There's
you're
a
forgetting
cappella group?
Oh, yeah, the Shipping Off to Boston.
Yeah, I don't know
acapella.
what they were singing, but
shipping off
Off
to Boston.
Boston way.
Da 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 da. You know,
Good song.
have you seen The Departed?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, you're missing
Good
out.
movie.
It's a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Watch it, Chowderhead.
so if anyone doesn't know, ever since The Departed, where they prominently feature the Dropkick Murphys song Shipping Out to Boston, that song has just been the musical cue for whenever you're in Boston. So
Yep.
I like in this one, it was a twist where they actually did an a cappella version of it. And
Yeah, and how we got there was Bart's like, hey, you're going to get sent to detention. That's where we're going to meet my crew. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
get sent to detention. They channel their energy into a cappella
in the charter school, they don't punish you with detention, they punish you with a cappella club.
with extracurricular activities.
That is a punishment on its own.
Correct.
BT, do you have any other notes?
I do like Homer's line where Bart's like, I need to go to Boston. Those are my people. And Homer's like, no, the dog and the baby. Those are your people.
That was actually quite funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have got it.
Yeah.
And then another follow-up where the kids are asleep and Marge's like, oh, our kids look so cute and innocent. It's like, well, except for Bart.
Yeah.
Not Bart, but go on.
Yeah. That's right.
And that is all of my notes.
How about you, Jimmy? Any other notes?
I did like Homer the Bull when he charges at the door. They see him in the Flanders yard
Yeah.
trying to smash everyone up. And then eventually runs out of steam and Ned gives him some water with the hose.
I like the pans to the window and the fence is already broken.
Yeah.
And he's wearing 3 palings in the back of his pants like he's a bull stuck with swords.
Yeah. It was a weird bit.
It was.
It was very cartoony.
Yeah, I surprisingly got a laugh out of that, even though I think if I wasn't having a good time at that point, it would have been annoying, but because I already was, yeah.
It wasn't the gag I expected to see after
Yeah.
Homer come charging bull-like at Bart. I thought he was going to get his head stuck in a pot plant or something.
Yeah.
And Flappy the flag. Just every time Flappy was on the screen, I laughed. He's a bottle with a flag coming out of his head and he scored the winning touchdown.
Yeah.
He's on the roster.
It's on the roster. You got to cover him.
He's unmarked. And the commentator goes, and scores what should be an illegal touchdown.
Yeah, are they known for cheating? Or are they?
Yeah. They were caught filming other teams'
Right.
signals out of practice so they could steal their plays.
They're also
and-
the team that hired lip readers to watch the coaches on the sidelines.
Oh,
so
they've
they
all
could-
been doing that for a long time. That's why they all.
That's
do
why
this.
we've been losing.
That's why they do the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's the only team Ben knows.
Yeah.
It was a Simpsons reference, then we know it.
Yeah.
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 All right, guys, it is time for my final notes.
Well, go ahead then.
Yeah, what are you
That's
waiting for?
that's my theme song for the final note.
You don't
time.
have final note themes unless you want it. In which case we'll
Final
make it.
notes. Final notes.
Da-da.
Final notes. Without
There we go. That's more like it. What'd you guys think about the pie bit at the start?
Which bit?
Where Marge is dishing out the pie, saying what type of pie
before me.
It was,
It was
yeah,
weird.
and Homer's complaining over the top of her.
It was weird, especially when Homer just kind of burns his mouth on it and drops it and then doesn't eat it.
Yeah, he just went,
Yeah.
dropped it on the table, went, I'm good.
And then fled to the bar for the
Yeah.
football.
or tried to. Had to put
Yeah.
the stupid kids to bed first.
I think I would have hated it more if Homer wasn't talking over the top of
Yeah.
Marge. I think that sort of sold the joke a bit for me.
And
Yeah.
as Australians, we know how to eat pie. So
Oh, yeah.
Know
And
how to eat pie.
What?
Nothing.
I know how it sounds. I'm not defending that part either.
No, I'm
I'm going
not
to stick with
accusing
all
you.
of it.
Not accusing you of sounding like anything.
Will be real father-son Southies like Ben and Casey Affleck.
Yeah, that's good.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because Casey Affleck is a stupid child.
I think he felt that. He's going to be walking around Hollywood just go, why am I burning all of a sudden?
Yeah, he's like, someone's stealing my chowder.
And yeah, when Bart sees the a cappella group, he goes, there isn't a Wahlberg in the bunch.
Yeah.
Not a bad line. There was a moment of real cloud when Bart was realizing how much of a anti-Bart place Boston is.
It was a bit of a stylistic animation shift and it looked very good.
Yeah. Although I don't think they sold the moment with Lisa on Paul Revere's head at all.
No, that was dumb.
Although I did like how that he couldn't even skateboard in Boston because there's cobblestone everywhere.
Yeah, that was good.
And yeah, my final note is, Lisa pretending that she's in Boston still, and that was so sad.
What was that thing in her eyes? What was the
Try.
Yeah, 3 red triangle.
I don't know.
logo.
I thought it was like a thing from Resident Evil or something. Maybe.
Was that
It looks a
school
little bit
logo or
like the
something?
logo, but no.
We really don't know enough about Boston.
We are not learned.
Sitgo logo?
Sitgo.
I mean, you can't do both.
It's the Fenway. It sits above Fenway Park.
I should know that.
Should you?
I
know
like
the-
baseball, I like Fenway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
should you know the major sponsor of Fenway Park?
What's a Fenway?
Oh, about 5 pounds.
It is time to rank this thing. On the Simpsons Index, we rank using our 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. But maybe if the episode was just meh, you give a participant. But for the good rankings, you got good, bronze, great, silver, excellent, gold. But for the best, the very best, the ones that you'd ship out to Boston for, you'd give a cubic zirconia. Now let me go first. I'm going to show you how it's done. Bronze? It's edging on silver, I will admit, which is weird because I came into this episode a total participant, but just for the record, it's a high bronze. I think if there was a bit more solid story there, I would have gone higher, but there wasn't, so I didn't. So bronze for me. How about you, Phil?
I was intending to give it a good bronze the whole time, but maybe I've been talked up to silver. No, I'm going to go with my heart and go bronze.
Always follow the hard guts.
One hearty bronze.
The old heart guts.
How about you, Beej?
Tough one on this one. I agree with your sort of. I'm gonna go bronze. For me, it's a lower bronze though. Like it's just the lack of any kind of real story or drive is gonna make this one hard for me to remember. But I got a lot of jokes out of it, and that's without knowing shit about Boston or football.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good to get some jokes out of something I don't know the 2 main topics about.
It's definitely an episode that I think improves the more you know, and
Yeah,
maybe it'll be better on a rewatch.
yeah, it definitely started off a lot stronger than it ended. Because when we started off, I'm like, this could maybe get into a silver territory for me, but yeah, it just didn't maintain that. So I'm down to a lowish bronze.
How about you, James? Finish us off.
Can I put it in between a bronze and a silver, or like a high
You
bronze?
have to pick a lane. You can say here that it was a high bronze edging on silver, just so the fans at home know, but, the record will show that you went one way or t'other.
I'm going t'other. I'm going high bronze. High bronze. Yeah.
No,
Not a
I-
silver?
I concur.
Nah, not a silver. It was pretty good. I liked it. I liked the football stuff. Needed more. I'd watch them just animate a whole game of football with Flappy the Flag just running around the field.
Just mascot football.
30 minutes.
I don't know if I'd watch a whole game, but I'd
Yeah.
definitely watch like a quarter.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good.
If there was
Yes.
beer, maybe a whole game.
Yeah. High bronze. Thanks.
All right, that'll equal your unanimous bronze, and this will be joining other such unanimous bronzes from the HD era as Covercraft, where Homer and Apu and all that make a cover band. It'll also be joining The Great Simpsona, where Lisa becomes a magician. Chief of Hearts, where Homer and Chief Wiggum become best friends, which is a super charming episode.
Yep.
And other episodes, Eeny Tina Maya Mo, which we reviewed with you, Phil.
You have to give me more than that.
Mo dates a little person.
Oh, it sounds like an amazing episode, but
Only
it's
a
really
bronze?
not. It's really sucky
But how's that a bronze then?
because it's.
Have I been
it's-
misled about what a bronze means?
no, like it wasn't terribly sucky, but from the synopsis of Mo dates a little person,
Oh.
all the hijinks you think will happen just don't happen.
You want zirconias on that, but you didn't get it.
Yeah, I was pre-zirconied up.
Yeah.
And I know.
That little flag said Zirconia.
Yeah, it's just fluttering away.
And yeah, also how I spent my Strummer vacation, where Homer goes to rock and roll fantasy camp.
Yeah, also the same.
And Homer the Mo, where Homer becomes the Mo. I feel like this is on par with all of those.
Yeah, that seems right.
You'll have a good time, but you're not going to love it. But then, yeah, you get some laughs on the way.
That's right. Before we move on, is that reputation justified?
Is that reputation justified?
The unpredictable Dennis Perkins,
Oof.
the AV
A
Club,
wild card.
he gave this episode a B, which is pretty well like a high bronze maybe on their
Silverish,
scale.
yeah.
So they said, the Simpsons hatecation is funnier than you'd expect.
It was.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I would say that.
I expected to really hate this because Ellis goes, "Oh, we've got a terrible one to start with." And I was like, "Yes."
Well,
Then I
I
was disappointed.
Yeah, never set me up for hate unless it's, actually terrible.
Yeah, all my pitchforks are sharpened for no reason.
well, there's still the next episode to go, so let's
pitchforks out.
So I think this is the important thing of reviewing these episodes in a group dynamic, because I feel like there is a bit more of a positive energy when you're watching an episode. Like the rankings on my personal spreadsheet before I bring them to you guys are always lower than what they end up being. Yeah. All right, we're going to move on. That was the 599th episode of The Simpsons. Now we're going all the way back to the 260th with another sports-themed episode, Tennis the Menace.
Oh, I know this one.
We'll be back.
I hate tennis.
I hate tennis and I hate Dennis.
And we are back, and we just watched our Teens Era episode. This was Season 12, Episode 12, Tennis the Menace. First released in February of 2001, it was directed by Jen Kamerman and written by Ian Maxtone Graham. In this episode, Homer and Grandpa are going to a, what do you call it, a autopsy?
Funeratorium.
Funeral plaza, and picking out a coffin for him when Homer has a quick decision to install a tennis court into the Simpson family home.
That's good.
And they start inviting all their friends around to play tennis, but Homer's really bad and this embarrasses Marge. But Homer enters them into a tennis tournament and Marge dumps him for Bart, and which leads to them going into another tournament where, anyway, there's a lot of dumping Simpsons for famous tennis stars in the end of this episode. Guys, what'd you think?
It's okay.
I had a pretty good time,
I
actually.
really enjoyed that episode. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's one that I think theoretically I have a lot of problems with, but I was having a real good time with it.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely got some good laughs out of this one. Again, much like the last one, it did slowly decline for me. But
Yeah, the ending just became a, here's Venus and Serena Williams, Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras.
yeah, it's literally, hey, Pete Sampras. Then pause for applause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed Agassi, the only line he had in this was, I'm Andre Agassi.
Who, the wrestler? As in, like Andre the Giant. I thought it was really good.
But he doesn't even respond to it. He's just like, no.
They could only afford to have Andre Agassi say his name.
Yeah, that was actually just his voicemail. He didn't even phone it in. They had to phone him.
They phoned
well
him in.
played, well
Very
played.
nice.
I feel like you could do an excellent amount of cameos with answering machines.
Probably.
This is Matthew McConaughey. How'd you get this number?
And you're like, thank you.
Why is my shirt off?
That's why it took me so long to answer the phone.
Yeah.
I'm probably taking my shirt off
I'm
right now.
doing it right now. My hands are both occupied.
I like to think that shirts just repelled from him and he doesn't know why.
It's like the Boston hat for him. Like, it's just a polar magnet. All right, so starting with you, BT, what is a moment from this episode that stood out to you for better and or worse?
I do really like the hard switch from when we're looking for caskets for Grandpa and the funeral guys would, this wonderful monument uses as much cement as a standard tennis court. Smash cut, they got a tennis court.
Yeah.
It's like, it should bother me a lot more, but you get a good laugh out of it.
But it's good because Homer goes, who would have thought after going to look at funerals we'd end up with a tennis court? Not even we could expect that.
You didn't see that coming.
It's the rare nod to the camera that actually really, really works.
Yeah, that was really good, actually. I thought.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
they land the hell out of that one.
And during the audio commentary for this episode, Ian Maxtone Graham, the writer, acknowledges this and goes, yeah, look, I know it's like one of these first act, he called it a screw you opening, where like,
Accurate.
we're almost 8 minutes into the episode and we only just get to what the episode's about.
Yeah, but it gets us there very quickly once we get there. And we get the good follow-up joke of he watches Bart and Lisa playing tennis like, what the hell are you doing? Practicing tennis? That's tennis? Oh, what's the thing with the chicks wail on each other?
Foxy boxing?
Ah, that's what I wanted. Oh.
Yeah, you guys really responded. That's the part of the joke that I hate. I wish it was just another sport. Homer's
know.
already...
I think it's just Foxy Boxing sounds funny.
Yeah.
And also, the only time I've ever heard of Foxy Boxing in my life is in the other Simpsons
Yeah.
episode.
Well, that's what I mean.
Girls should stick to girly sports, like huddle or wrestling, Foxy Boxing, and such.
That's ballet. What's the one with the bear in the little car?
Yeah. So, yeah, Ian Maxon Graham does acknowledge in the commentary that, yeah, these sort of intros are best avoided, but I agree. The way they did it was knowing and it worked for me.
Yeah, I think this is one of the first times they've had that incredibly hard left.
Yeah.
Later on, it gets more, like the more you do it, the worse it becomes. But when it's fresh, it's still pretty good.
But yeah, we've been calling it the first actor version, but yeah, the screw you opening, I think, coined by the Simpsons writers themselves, I think is more appropriate.
Yeah, the first actor version we keep talking about is the one that goes from 8 different places and then you get there. And it's like, at least this was a weird hard left.
Definitely. How about you, Phil? What's a moment from this episode that stands out to you for better or worse?
I liked a lot of this moments, actually. I liked almost everything in the funeral parlor where they were looking at caskets.
Oh, yeah.
I liked the guy correcting Homer that they're not
coffins, they're caskets.
They're caskets.
They're not tombstones, they're monuments.
They're monuments. And we have all the stink spray you can watch.
Such funny names.
And he referred to Grandpa as the predeceased.
Oh, yep.
And I like that he went, nobody knows what happens after we die, but we do know that God prefers those who travel in style.
Yeah, there were a lot of great jokes, and I like cadaver cam when Bart gets trapped in the thing.
Yeah.
And even his line of when Bart's screwing out his funeral guy's like, the living.
Yeah. Has it got picture-in-picture?
Of course.
I enjoyed that because back when I used to live at my mum's place, like a lot of people once did.
Yeah, your mum had us a lot of room.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Seamless intro that was.
Thank you. This is only the 94th time I've done this. Third. Fuck. So back when I was living at mum's, we had one of the widescreen TVs when they first came out, and we loved the picture-in-picture feature because she could watch her crap and I could play video games. You know, back in a time where you didn't necessarily have your own TV in your room.
With the picture-in-picture, do you get sound on both pictures?
No.
So your mum was listening to Days of Our Lives in a tiny little screen.
Yeah, she...
And you were playing Banjo-Kazooie.
On mute, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There was one time where she drew the line when I was playing, like, Mortal Kombat or something, and she's just like, can you not?
Can you not take that man's head off and throw him into a spiked pit?
Yeah, she's like trying to watch a Hugh Grant movie, and I'm just fucking Sub-Zero ripping off Scorpion's head and shit.
He's awkward charming his way through. And
You know what? I would be hard-pressed to
just
tell me...
get over
If someone said to me, what is the opposite of Hugh Grant? I'd have a hard time figuring it out. But now I know it's Mortal Kombat fatalities. That's exactly what that is.
oh, wow, new character, Hugh Grant.
Finish him.
I do say, get over here.
All of his moves are just exaggerated falling overs. Guys, we might have something here.
I know.
Get Hugh Grant on the phone, or at least his voicemail.
Call us NetherRealm Studios.
How about you, Jimmy? What's a moment from this episode that stands out to you for better or worse?
Oh, I liked Hibbert doing a surgery outdoors for some bizarre reason. And a tennis ball shot out of a machine landing in the person's open chest cavity, killing the person, and him instantly pronouncing a time of death just after he said, such a nice day outside. I don't know why we don't do more surgeries outdoors.
It was so good.
Such
It
a
was
good like,
Fantastic.
Didn't see it coming. Didn't expect to ever see that character in this episode. Certainly not doing that.
And I love that it's like a 5-second gag. You're in and out, and by the time you kind of figured out like it was funny, it's gone already, and you're like...
There was a ton. This episode had so many quick gags.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic.
Actually, the other thing that I wanted to jump in with was, for some reason, I really loved when Chester,
Oh, yeah.
the guy who's doing this plate spinning,
Yeah.
and Homer was 100% involved in it. He's
I
like,
love
What about
this.
that one? No, that one's wobbling. Oh, you got to make time for it. Oh, you got it before I said it.
It reminded me of, like, back when uni, I had this friend that when I was driving, taking him lift somewhere, he'd spent such little time in a car or something that everything I did freaked him out. Oh, you're getting really close to that bollard. And no, I'm not. You know that person?
Was that my mum?
Wow.
Yeah, maybe.
I love the idea that it might have been that at age 20 he just hadn't spent enough time in cars.
Yeah, was
What is he
unfamiliar with the
doing?
whole concept.
Did your friend come out of the woods at like age 19 or
It
something?
was his Rumspringa.
To be fair, yeah, Mum had this thing where if you were driving, she'd assume every pedestrian was suicidal. So I was like, careful of those people, they might jump out in front of you. Why would they do that? And also, if I then hit them, I don't think I have a choice. It's, you know, they're going to jump in front of me.
They're lemming people.
So, yeah, I love that bit, just as Homer as the commentator that clearly doesn't respect the performer enough to know that he knows what to do. And he's, no, you got to get that one. Oh, that one's wobbling a little. Oh, you got that one before I even said it.
It's one of those things where you look at a plate spinner and you go, how do you get into that? And I think it's in a Gervais podcast where he's like, your father's doing it. He's like, oh, look, son, this one's about to wobble. Quick, you got to hit it or it'll fall over. And you accidentally touch it and then suddenly you're hooked and you've
Now
got
you're in the family,
you're in the family
industry.
business. Yeah.
Wait a minute, I love this. Hey, could be. I've never done it. Maybe it's amazing.
I feel like we would especially be terrible at it.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just say something from the episode that perhaps you guys might not have seen?
Yes.
There's the bit where in the cadaver cam they're showing basketball,
Mm.
and the basketball player runs essentially across the whole court to make his shot. And then in my head I was going, that's such travel. And then Homer goes, they never call traveling anymore. And and that's true. After Jordan, it was kind of famously for Jordan, they just relaxed the rule on traveling. If you go back and watch some of his best dunks, he takes like 6 and 7 steps.
Really?
But it was like, he
But
was
it looks amazing.
Right.
So, and it was really good for
It
the
draws a
sport.
crowd.
correct.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get
Yeah.
up that high without as many steps. So they just let it go. But that one really just touched me as far. Like, yeah, you're right, Homer.
Right
That's
on,
bullshit,
Simpsons.
man.
Because I was watching Bart in the picture-in-picture, scrambling at the screen.
I just want to see a dunk.
I wasn't watching the made-up basketball game.
Sounding like me now.
And I will say the moment from the story that stood out to me was this charity tennis match, and I think the way that the tournaments and stuff rolled out at the end was really clunky and stuff, and I really wish this ending was a lot tighter because, yeah, this really could have made this an excellent episode for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as I love the final line of it's better to watch stuff than to do stuff. It's,
Yeah.
it feels just very wacky ending.
And even to foreshadow a tournament, all you have to do is put them walking past a sign for a split second in
Yeah.
an earlier scene. And you could even set up the fact that they'll end up being enemies over it as a family looking at a sign.
That's it. Like, I wish there was only the one tournament, because the other implication is because Bart and Marge won the first tournament, so they were invited to the Krusty thing, and then Homer and Lisa were just
Yeah.
Just
sort
decided
of
to.
yeah.
There's no like qualifications to get in.
And
Just,
straight to center court.
Yeah.
well, it seemed to be the only court as well.
True.
So, also they had all these famous tennis players, but they weren't part of the charity game.
They were just
They were just watching.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point.
And Venus and Serena were like, they were on level K or something. They were way up the top.
Who's yet to come to this charity game and watch amateurs?
From the worst seats we've got.
Yep.
No wonder Serena was hooking into a personal pizza. Play count. How many times before tonight have you seen this episode?
I'd say either 15 or love.
Very, very good.
I'd say just a non-sassy 3 to 5.
I
Yep.
think I've seen it a few times, maybe 3.
Enough that I kind of remembered some of the gags, but
Yeah.
not enough to actually. It took me a while to figure out I had seen it.
Yeah, look, I've seen this episode a lot, probably in excess of 20 times or something. I love season 12. It's,
It's always like the power of 3 to everything I've seen.
yeah, it's one that I've returned to, even though I've got my problems with it. Like, another moment that stood out to me was the weird Oedipal thing.
The weird dream, yeah.
Yeah,
And then the psychotherapy that Lisa gave
Yeah.
Homer as well.
yeah.
Although I did
You
laugh.
remember the story of Oedipus? Put me $5 and I might remember.
I love the bit where she goes, no, Oedipus kills his father to marry his mother. And he goes,
Ew.
what? Who's paying for that wedding?
Yeah, see, anything that I had a problem with in this episode, there was still a good joke with it.
Yeah, I mean, even when they go to the dream where it's like...
Very creepy.
Which is creepy because, yeah, Marge is flirting with Bart, and Bart's like looking up at the mounted bust of Homer. It's like, he thought that trip to the guillotine factory was all laughs. Little did he know it was the perfect time to shoot him.
Yeah. Oh, God, even in Homer's dreams, he's dumb.
But it's his own brain. His brain's not smarter when it's sleeping.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
So, how about some of the wacky moments of this episode?
I like how the cops have tennis holsters.
Yeah.
And then there's an immediate follow-up of that, Burns coming to play tennis with them, and it's like, don't you have a tennis court? No, he turned it to a human chess
I
chessboard.
fucking love this joke.
Yeah, that was
Two of them
awesome.
run away, and they just, no, fools, protect me! And they start pummeling him.
That was awesome. I didn't see that coming. Even
It's
though
like, yeah, the game didn't end. I also like the other bit of Burns' wackiness. Oh, where'd you get that novelty hand? Oh, that's just fluid build up. And he shakes it, and you hear the fluid
Ugh,
seep back into
yeah.
his body.
Mr. Salesman, we're going to go with the wolves.
Yeah.
And the wolves are waiting there.
and you could get mole insurance as well.
Yep, yep.
On the casket.
Oh, yeah, and then another bit of, what do you call them?
Animal
Ground vermin.
Varmin.
Vermin. Yeah, Homer's put down the tennis court. Well, it stops the Gophers, and then you see that little cut section cross, and like, yeah, that was really cute.
I do like the bit where they're playing Ken Brockman and Homer goes, how do you come up with such witticisms? And he's got like a little earpiece and it goes
Yeah.
to the van and there's a
Come
guy
on, come on.
furiously typing and he pulls it up and he goes, I guess you could say it's my racket. And it goes back to Ken Brockman and he goes, I guess you could say I'm a racky.
Yeah.
Get off my
Get
property.
Oh, I liked that, but I didn't like Homer going, oh, get off. That's like, whoa. So, yeah, any other wacky moments you want to mention before we move on?
I really like, it's not wacky, but Homer's just sitting in bed playing with one of those paper folded finger deciding things. Do I have cooties?
Yeah.
No. Wow, this home testing kit has saved me so much money.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I liked Wiggum and Lou talking in the grocery store,
Oh, yeah.
and they're talking about their plans for the night, and they're going to bust a crack house, and Wiggum's like, we did that last night, and Lou's like, yeah, but tonight we've got the right house.
yeah.
I do like how they go, beating the Simpsons is easier than beating a convict in chains.
Yeah,
And
it's
he's
pretty
like,
easy to beat a convict in chains.
that's what the point is, Lou. I was talking about
Beatability of the Simpsons.
the ease of beatability.
So you guys have translated it to Australian being a convict in chains. The line was suspect in shackles, but I like how, your Australianism just took over.
Look, I didn't write down that part because I trusted my brain to remember it.
Then Barney's like, dude, I'm like, whatever. Dad, what does this have to do with the Civil War?
Yeah. There was a bunch of great jokes of Homer still thinking he's on the team where,
Yeah.
oh, look at you, buddy. You got daddy's hustle. And Marge, you're going great. We have a chance of winning tomorrow. I'm going to go lay out my clothes.
He's so proud laying them out. And then, when he comes down the stairs later, it's like, oh, Bart, the way you dress, some people think you might be in the tournament. He's like, I am. Oh, good. Got a partner? Yeah, I do. Do I know them? Yeah, you know her.
Marge, you telling me the important news of who Bart's partner is?
It's that obliviousness that just goes on just the right amount of time and gets some laughs out of it.
It was, where, trying to find the line of how far do you take the joke? And I think,
I think they just made it.
Yeah, there's tons of just little gags. Don't touch me, your hands feel like salad tongs, which is exactly how I imagine Homer would imagine something that he hates
Yeah.
the feel of.
I was
Oh,
trying to figure
that's a
out
good
whether
point.
that was him saying like they're all stiff and scratchy, or that's like something he hates.
yeah.
I think both work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you're not going to use those tongs for anything else, are you? They're only going to be used for salad.
Filthy salad.
All right, so how about the heart of this episode? Did you guys feel the bumps?
Dad, you're replacing me? Dumping is such a hard word. Let's just say I'm replacing you. No.
No.
No, not really. And I also found that this is the only time where Homer's not competitive. Like usually, especially in sporting or anything physical, he's a gotta win type of guy. And
Yeah,
this
think
he
about
just,
how hard he pushes Bart for putt-putt golf.
He's just obliviously confident that he's part of this, and then once he finds out that he isn't, that's when he turns and becomes, I don't know, not so much competitive, I guess, hey?
just spiteful. But even when they
Yeah.
were playing in the backyard,
Yeah.
like he was happy to be the clown around guy and not actually even hit the ball. Whereas it seems like we've seen 100 other things where, like the baseball or the softball episode, where he wants to be good and hates being replaced by Daryl.
Yeah. No, that's true. And man, I loved a lot of Homer's clowning around at the thing, like where he's surfing the net. This was such a great joke back in the dawn of the internet age.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
like such a 1998 joke.
I
When it was
know.
known as the net or the information superhighway.
Starring Sandra Bullock.
Yep.
The second I thought that movie was called Information Superhighway, and I'm like, that can't be right.
But yeah, so I guess that's a lot of the problem that I have with the ending is that they tried to imply that there was heart there, that they just moved through the dumping
Yeah.
stuff so quickly that there was never a chance that you'd feel it.
Yeah, there wasn't even really an ending. It just ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, and considering they built up a fair amount of conflict, that it just kind of petered out, which is a bit of a shame.
Pete Sampras out.
Yeah, Pete stamped out. Whatever.
Serenity now.
It's so weird to think you don't love sports, Ben. I find it hard to believe.
He's got all the lingo down, but just none of the sports knowledge.
All their names.
He was in that sitcom, right? Sampras and Son.
Oh, that's, I mean,
Playing
that's getting-
tennis. Playing tennis with my friend.
This
His
is why
name
I
is
don't like
Pete.
singing from other people.
For listeners at home, I did the appropriate forehead pinch of disappointment.
Ultimately, though,
Yeah.
guys, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
I think
Yeah.
mostly it did, yeah.
Other than that ending, but even then, that almost is justified. Almost.
I think it's probably indicative of a teens era Simpsons.
Yeah.
You got the screw you first act.
And then the kind of somewhat disappointing ending. It kind of reminds me of when they get the Omek head, S.2
Oh, yeah.
where it's like, well, I guess the lesson here is squeaky wheel gets the grease. Like, no, it's just a bunch of stuff that happened.
Mm.
But it's kind of veering towards that territory, but doesn't quite land it. I think just because it got a little too obsessed with its own guest stars.
Yeah, that's a good point. And where, much like Estopalopakettle, where it was like a knowing sort of whatever ending, this was like a knowing screw you first act beginning, but they didn't have that same knowingness in the end.
Yeah.
If they just subbed out the celebrities with just well-drawn, athletic-looking tennis players, as in they literally got ushered off the court by good tennis players that weren't, that the celebrity wasn't the joke, they could have at least finished with some heart in the sense that you weren't distracted by the celebrity.
Yeah.
You could at
Mhm.
least reflected on the fact that none of them really were good tennis players and all of their competition was for nothing anyway because they were replaced by genuine good amateurs.
That's a really good point. That, yeah, once you put the four Simpsons on a court, that they'd actually not produce a very engaging tennis game. I think that's actually a solid place for the episode to end.
Well, it certainly seems like Bart and Marge would have kicked
We're doing
ass.
pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, they won that first tournament. So, yeah, maybe you have it when Homer gets motivated by spite, he actually tries, and Marge
Yeah.
is like, this is all I wanted was for you to try.
Yeah. So,
Whatever.
yeah, it is a shame that the episode ended the way it did because we didn't get those heart moments. But otherwise, character integrity, I think everything's pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, Homer's not dumb, he's just goofing off.
Yeah.
Well, not overly dumb. I'm surprised Bart is good at tennis, but sure, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Phil was kind of spot on though with, not to steal your thunder, but I thought that was a really good point.
No, still
That it's not the Homer of previous
Yeah.
seasons.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. His knowingness is dialed down a lot.
just him being okay with losing and rather being like he was there for the social
Yeah.
interaction of tennis rather than the winning of tennis.
Yeah, he was
which-
happy to get the laugh and the win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which was never been his case.
No.
Yeah, I just felt like that was obviously facilitating the story more, but
Mm.
it was not particularly Homer until halfway through, and then he got jealous.
I do like when Marge is good at stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's nice to see her going to get some wins on the board.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
And it's nice to see. I quite like this as a Homer Lisa story as well. They both got on board so quickly of hating Marge and Bart.
Mm.
Yeah, it was kind of like they're both just growling at each other at dinner, and you're like, yeah, it's cool.
Well, even Lisa was reluctant at first, and, Dad, I'm not going to swing a tennis ball at Marge. At
You've
Mum.
been eyeing up Queen Bee and since you joined this hive.
What Marge said?
Lisa, did you knock over that effigy of me?
Yeah, it's really good. And yeah, that dinner table conversation, the psych. Here's a telegram.
It's a trick.
Also, I've never known that psyching someone out was just yelling psych at them.
Yeah,
I believe it isn't, but it is now.
I don't know. It seems like a very.
you got to do it in an unsuspecting place.
It seems like a very Saved by the Bell thing.
Well, I mean, the key to a good psych is, Phil, when you just...
Look, I know you're broadcasting it right now. Just let you know.
Yeah.
Now is not the time to crack it out.
Yeah, I can hear it in your tone of voice.
The word psych is on the back of your tongue, and I can already hear it.
We're all ready for
I'm
it.
not that predictor. Psych! So yes or no, would you watch this one again?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd watch it again. We're going to watch it again. We're going to put it in a playlist. What playlist does it belong in?
And the sports is the obvious one.
Sports.
Way too many guest stars.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to add it to a playlist of things that are constructed in the backyard. Swimming pools,
Yeah.
barbecues.
Yeah.
Mm,
Good
that's-
playlist, I
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's good.
Doghouse.
Doghouse.
Attempted doghouse.
Yeah, pair
Tempted
this
stupid bird thing.
yeah, pair this with Le Grill. What the hell is that? Perfect. Krusty charity events?
I do like his line of what? I'm not doing A material for charity.
Yeah.
I do like how
Racket,
he...
earring.
Very
so,
good.
So terrible. But I do like he went, I'm not going to do a material for charity. And then he just segues, this is why we're here.
Like
I
in a
did
really
like,
deadpan, very serious tone.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh, he wasn't
Yeah.
doing that as part of the gag.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like,
And I love the charity was in support of
Balcony claps.
preventing against BC. We can
BC.
defeat BC in our lifetime.
You can try, motherfuckers, but I'm not going down without a fight.
we'll just put you on a balcony and let fate take care of itself.
But yeah, that old balcony collapse bit led to another favorite quote of mine is, I don't care about BC. I care about ME. My enjoyment. It's so lazy and badly written. I love it. So, Jimmy, what would you change about this episode?
Yeah, as I said, just getting rid of the celebrities at the end who served no purpose, did not have any funny lines, and took away from the possible redemption of the plot line. As I said, there was no point in them having a competition because there's no way they're good tennis players. And at any tournament they turn up to, 2 8 and 10-year-old children get flogged by adults.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just 2 normal adults would have just wiped the floor with them. So yeah, that's what I would have changed.
Absolutely. How about you, Phil?
Yeah, I'd say the same. I'd make Homer more himself and more competitive. And I think the ending just needs to be storied because it wasn't. It was literally just, and we have a page to go. So, well, I guess it's better to watch things than do stuff. All right.
Yeah.
It's the same as you can't win, so never try. The end. Credits.
Mm. How about you, BT?
We've already covered. Get rid of the guest stars. I think you could have done a lot more. It feels like it was structured around because they could get the guest stars
Yes.
rather than they served any integral part of the plot. So
Mm.
shoo them away and we'll have something better.
Yeah. I mean, who's ever heard of Pete's Stamp Press?
Exactly.
Peter Stampras.
Oh, sorry. Well, so that's what.
He likes his full name. Can I ask this? My recollection seems to be that there was a period of television where getting a famous guest on was reason enough for you to tune in. Like that would be the advertising hook.
Oh, sure.
Guest star this week.
Everyone hits
Blah.
that shark jumping moment.
But it was that I feel like that was a thing that used to happen a lot, but now it doesn't happen much because we watch quality serialized TV. You go on HBO and you watch. It's not like Game of Thrones put Ed Sheeran on or anything. So it's one of those things where I feel like in the 90s, a lot of shows were trotting out a celebrity in their sitcom or whatever the show was. Are we maybe looking at this episode and forgetting that in 2001 it may still have been quote unquote fresh?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like back in the day there would be a lot of those commercials where this week on The Simpsons, Jay Leno, what are you doing here?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which that sort of line plays well in the commercial, but it comes off really tacky and eye-rolly in the episode.
Yeah, I think you got something in the sense that would have driven ratings then because it would have been the only time you would have seen it. Whereas now, if you say you won't believe who cameos on the latest Rick and Morty, people can go and check it out on their own time. They don't need that draw of. So I think now we still have it. It's just regulated to the background of they just show up and you get the surprise.
It's still definitely a thing, and it's definitely a thing occurred in the past, and it's more because the theory is that if you get Serena Williams or Madonna, you get the people who watch your show watching your show and the people who like Madonna at the same time. So it artificially increased your audience, and you can do it by almost a quantifiable amount. Like if you go, oh, this person has 250,000 Instagram followers, then you know that you can rely on 100,000 more viewers than you could if this person wasn't there. And that's why the advertising is more important than them actually turning up.
Is that a bigger draw in a period of time when TV was week to week and you didn't get these kind of full season dumps?
I presume that it would be.
Yeah.
If you were watching scheduled television rather than the diversified platform we have now, it would be for a reason to keep people coming back. Because everyone's got, out of your 25 episodes of Big Bang Theory for the year, you know that 5 of them are kind of a bit shit.
And so they put Will Wheaton in them.
All of them are a bit shit. It's not a good show.
Yeah, but it's not the worst show that was on TV.
That's true.
Kind of close.
Have you watched According to Jim?
Oh, okay. Very good point. Yeah. I forgot there was an According to Jim.
Just according to the ship Belushi.
Yeah, and I love how in Community calling something the Jim Belushi of something was like the ultimate insult.
It's like when you completely Brited something.
So what I'd change about the episode, I'd change that opening. I fucking hated that shower scene. It seemed like a retread of the hot, cold. Who's doing that?
Yeah, and it just took too long. I think it would have been okay. It was just a bit long.
Yeah, the last 3 turns that made a bit of a song sound, that would have been a good way to end that.
Yeah, they had Marietta Little Lamb and Beethoven, and it's just, it was just obnoxious, I thought. All right, we're at the end here. Jimmy, do you have any other notes?
Just one. When Homer goes to choose one of the Williams sisters, he's basically explaining the pitch to them, and one of them seems apparently less bothered, and he goes, you seem less disgusted, and drags it down to court. Yeah, that was
a good way to choose.
Yeah.
How about you, Phil? Any other notes?
My only other note, because James just took my second one, was when they come back from the first tournament.
Yeah.
And Marge goes, Homie, don't worry about this. Don't think about this as an assault on your manhood. And Homer goes, I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah. Oh, that was really good. Mm-hmm. How about you, BT? Any other notes?
The line of when she's like, where were you thinking of putting your trophy, Bart? I was thinking mantle. I was thinking mantle too.
Yeah.
That was kind of cute.
That's definitely a Marge line.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, talk about teammates who think together or whatever she says.
Yep, being on the same wavelength and they share a double high five.
Asking questions is how you learn, you dummy.
Yeah. Them just kicking each other.
Or we send you a bill.
Like Lenny. I mean, I fucking hate spin-offs, but I would totally watch a Lenny and Carl episode spin-off.
Oh, yeah.
I would not
just
like
one episode.
Simpsons. Don't do like seasons and seasons of it because that's too much. But I would love almost just, do they live together?
Yeah, I'd like to see it as like the house is the Simpsons house, but it's lived in by Lenny and Carl. And they've got a pet or...
They have a llama or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just do Lenny and Carl things where they're not at work or occasionally
tennis.
Turning up. Yeah. Occasionally tennis. A lot of people in Springfield played tennis that I would not have
that are very crazy about it as well, which is a bit weird. It's not that good of a game.
No, I agree.
Really not. Still don't like tennis.
Yeah.
Oh, get excited. Australian Open this year. Woo!
Isn't the Australian Open every year?
Yeah, but get excited again this year.
Yeah.
I just don't get the point. It's like a 6-hour game.
I don't get why people like stay up for sports. It's just stay up for other... It's fun to stay up.
To be fair, you also get up early for the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, do I ever?
Sorry, what? What's a Nintendo Direct?
Nintendo Direct did like a direct-to-audience conference about all their new releases.
Oh, that's
But it's on a normal time if you live in, say, Japan, Europe, America,
Anywhere
anywhere
that
else.
isn't down under.
Oh, yeah, just to quickly bring it back to the whole guest stars in shows thing. Like, I might be wrong, but I just feel like these days that they try and get stars that are more, like, pertinent and relevant to the show. Like, in Parks and Rec, they get, like, all the politicians like Madeleine Albright and John McCain.
That was hilarious, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Joe Biden, and just Leslie loses it completely.
And I still really like in 30 Rock when they got Condoleezza Rice, because she
Yeah.
was apparently a big fan of the show.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a good scene.
Oh, and they mentioned that her and Jack had, like, a musical contest, and then so they brought it back in that episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just shredding the piano. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, and even in Glow, there's like a bunch of like wrestlers and stuff making cameos in it, like Chavo Guerrero and Carlito and stuff. And yeah, all these people that you don't know.
Yeah, I saw Glow. I didn't recognize any cameos.
I didn't see Glow. Should I see it?
It's pretty good.
I reckon it's good, yeah.
It's okay.
Glow, okay. All right, it's time for my final notes.
About time.
Tell me about it. Some of the material in the Old People Talent Show was so good. Like, you ever notice after you get dialysis that you get the munchies?
Yeah. Is he allowed to say that?
I love the audience reaction. And it's like,
You know what frightens me? Everything.
You know what I can't open? Cabinets.
yeah.
It's not remotely funny.
Yeah, and I love that Grandpa won because, yeah, he was just the person that was
Yeah.
currently on stage.
Yeah, I hated Grandpa's act. I thought that was really lame.
It was.
Oh,
Watch Me
really?
Pussycat.
Oh, I thought that was great.
Was he planning to be in pain? That's
Yeah.
confusing. But I do like the follow-up of, I want a free order. No, move your thumb. Autopsy.
Definitely. But, it doesn't matter that Grandpa was the only winner because all the performers get extra honey mush.
Yeah.
It sounds delicious. At the funeral home, they have an extra service for a weeping widow.
I did love that.
Yeah. Just timer goes off. Well, forget about Wally. He's straight over to Irving. Oh, Irving. What'd you think about Grandpa showing Homer how he'd haunt him?
That was weird because when you went to this like front on with the camera with Grandpa, his animation looked very different to the side on.
Oh.
He was a lot more thick lined and looked a lot more cartoony on the side.
Still, you wouldn't want to see that when you're on the John.
I mean, there are worse things.
Like what's in the John.
For starters, yeah.
Sentences that didn't need to be said. Yes.
I like how Homer goes, oh, Dad, I love you this much, but this much is only $900 worth. I'd like to go up to $17,000, but
I did like that.
Yeah, I do like the almost logical irony of like showing you how expansive your arms are and then putting a value on it. It's like, I'd like to give you more, but
This is as much as I got. It's like when people keep saying, I love you to the moon and back. It's like, you want to like quantify the actual distance? All right, geez, there's a limit. I see parents saying it to their kids on Facebook, and it's like, again, why put a distance exactly?
yeah. Oh, so after, 20-odd thousand kilometers, you're going to,
Just turn around and come back.
yep. Is that how long it is to the moon? I don't know.
how long it is.
No one knows
That's probably
In
not
the
true.
universe, no one knows
how big the moon is.
Nobody knows any of this shit, and we can't know.
It's like, are you going to check? No.
Editing Bay Elliot Jay here to say that the moon is 384,400 kilometres away from Earth, so the phrase, I love you to the moon and back, is quantifiably 768,800 kilometres worth. And in miles, that would be, fuck the imperial system, let's standardise metric now.
And I like how Homer calls God Killy McGee. That's a very good nickname for him. Homer apologizes for missing one of his shots. Whoops, I grunted too early. Very good tennis joke. And I like when the cops arrive and, they're doing the whole ruse about trying to play on their court. And Marge is just like, well, you boys want to play tennis.
Yeah, and then cuts to the wide shot. They're just wearing the tennis shorts.
Yeah, that's right, because it's all belt up before that and they look all professional. And then, reveal, tennis shorts. Mo gives Homer a bloopy. What? A bloopy.
A what?
Yeah, he
When
hits
did that
one
happen?
really high in the air. And says,
Oh,
here's a
right.
bloopy for you.
And why does Homer try to catch it in his pants?
Because he's the funny guy?
I don't know what he expected would happen.
It was pretty funny. I laughed.
And in real life, I would have also laughed.
Man gets hit with football.
Football in the groin, head of football in the groin.
You're the laughing stock of the town, Homer. Oh, that'll really upset Dingbat Charlie.
Yeah, that
A
seems like
signed picture of him on his
Yeah.
on his bedside table.
Yeah, that seems like a very 90s era type of joke.
Sure.
It just reminds me of like the forerunners to like Family Guy cutaways, where every
Yeah.
single line cuts away to a sight gag.
There's something else.
Sure.
Yeah.
And these are kind of like
These are like the smaller ones because it's a sight gag that's still in the room,
Yeah.
but it's still moving to it. Yeah.
Yeah, like with the Gophers as well. That was,
Yeah.
same place. It is time to rank this thing. Jimmy, you can kick it off this time.
I'm going to go with gold.
Gold.
I really enjoyed this episode. I don't care it didn't have heart. I don't watch every episode. I don't even like watching TV that tries to tell me a moral every time. It's like, relax, guys. I can figure it out myself.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to just get 22 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah.
22 minutes of laughs, and I did. Except for the last 2 minutes, I laughed the whole time. Loved it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with silver for this one. And I will say just on that, we sort of go through the morals and the story structure and all that just as points in the episode's favor. And for me, this, like, a lot of the silvers are these joke machines that work. And for me, this is absolutely one of them. So, yeah, silver, very respectable. Ranking for this one, B to Phil T. Phil, your turn.
Hey, I'm on the border of silver and gold, frankly.
Ooh.
I don't really know which way to come down, but I'll be generous. I'll go gold, I think.
Wow.
I did like it. The ending was not great, but I think I have to take Jane's point of view and go with, I did laugh a lot, and I found a lot of it funny.
Sure.
And I was entertained, and as Russell Crowe told us, are we not? So,
We are.
Thanks, Russ.
We are not. Thanks, Rusty.
BT, finish it off.
It's really tough because I'm on the border of bronze and silver, and I'm just trying to figure out. I think if I'm going to land anywhere, it's probably going to be on psych,
Ah,
and that's how you do that.
damn.
well, I know what these two will be doing for the next 48 hours.
Yep.
Yep.
Don't listen. It's a trick.
This is our thing now. This is me now.
It is just one where you just have a lot of good laughs, and I did get some genuine laugh out loud moments from this one. I think for that alone, it's going to just cross the border into a silver.
Yep.
So like a low silver, but still a silver. I had a good time.
I think anytime you can get a chessboard joke into
Yeah.
anything and it's funny.
And a tennis
And that
ball.
also
open
involves a
surgery.
beating.
Yeah. All right. Well, this will be a dull gold all around. The other time that an episode has gotten gold, gold, silver, silver was season 20's The Good and the Sad and the Drugly, which is currently our highest ranking HD era episode.
Yep.
And other dull golds that'll be joining Treehouse of Horror X, Homer to the Max, Homer Simpson in Kidney Trouble.
No, it's Homer to the Max when he becomes Max Power.
Max
That's exactly what I
See,
thought.
that's a great episode. And
I was about to say, it's one of the
Yeah.
first ones we did, and I'm pretty sure I was the gold and you and...
I was a gold, Danny was the silver.
I'd
Danny.
gold that for sure. Yeah, gold. And another one that I don't recall having any particular message or heart.
No, it's absolutely a joke vehicle,
But just
but it
what a
works so
joke,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I'm surprised that Danny didn't give it gold because...
But again, that was early days. Maybe we didn't have enough point of reference.
And to be fair, it does collapse in the final act with the trees and all that shit. Mountain of Madness as well, which is one that didn't actually get any gold rankings. It got cubic silver, which
Yeah.
I still think you're insane. That is a fucking excellent
Which
episode.
one's that one?
Oh, Mr. Burns and Homer trapped in the cabin in the snow.
Oh, that's a brilliant
yeah.
episode.
Tell
Yeah.
me about it.
Yep.
It's good. It's
Sorry.
silver good.
I'm upsetting
You've
things.
relit a fire.
All right, guys. That was the 260th episode of The Simpsons, and now we're going all the way back to the 21st episode, where we're going to Season 2's Bart the Daredevil. We'll be back.
Psych.
And we are back, and we just watched our classic and final episode of the evening. This was Season 2, Episode 8, Bart the Daredevil. Remember when season and episode titles had single digits? Wow. First released in December of 1990, it was directed by Wes Archer and written by Jay Kogan and Wallace Wolodarski. In this episode, oh my god, you guys know this one. It's where Bart's the Daredevil and he tries to do Springfield Gorge on his skateboard and Homer does it, and that fucking clip which we've seen in about 5,000 Simpsons clip montages. Guys, what did you think?
It's fabulous.
Yeah,
Oh.
great episode.
That's classic for a reason.
This is warm cocoa on a rainy day inside, and Cocoa Pops as well, maybe.
Cocoa and Cocoa Pop. You lived a charmed life.
It doesn't take much.
Well, I find that drinking the cocoa really pairs well with the Cocoa Pops.
The crunch and the warmness of the milk.
Yes.
Nothing quite like tastes like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy with a chocolate milkshake at the same time.
You know, for comparison.
Not crunchy.
The theorem is
One
correct.
crunchy thing.
Myth confirmed.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this episode is just such comfort food. This is, and I feel like it holds up.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we all got a laugh out of the Homer falling down the canyon scene, even though we've all seen it 40 times and it's all ingrained in our memories. But still, it's such a great moment of comedy.
I agree with James, who said it at the time, is like, it's hard to watch even as a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting beaten, brutalized.
It's the blood around his mouth.
I know,
Yeah.
that
Like,
really.
oh.
There's some internal damage there.
It's that one bit of rock that breaks off and
Yeah, and then the skateboard at the end is just...
Head in the mud.
yeah, pushes it like, yeah. And this is actually an interesting thing that the Simpsons clip show, you know, where Bart shakes up the beer can and Homer goes into a coma. And in that episode, they animated a new sequence of the Springfield Gorge falling bit. Yeah, Homer falls off the gorge and then the ambulance runs into the tree and then sends him down again, which is awesome. But in the clip show, they added an extra bit where the gurney
hits him.
lands on Homer's head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They
yeah,
did
right.
too.
And it's one of these things where it's implanted a lot of false memory into people like, oh, was that a deleted scene? But no, it's actually from the clip show, a new bit they animated for it.
Yes. Well, there you go.
Cool.
I'm trying to alter reality.
Trivia. So, BT, what is a moment from this story that stands out to you for better or worse?
I'm going to say it's right at the beginning where both Bart and Homer are watching the wrestling
Yep.
and having the same reaction. It's a great little parallel to their personalities. And it comes up again towards the end where Homer's like, well, the only way I'm going to be able to show you this is such a stupid idea is to do it myself. And that's what snaps Bart out of it. Kind of shows they're very much the same person, but yeah, the responsible one versus the idiot child who just thinks he can do anything.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't notice that they have been peppering out this theme throughout the whole episode.
So they're very much the same person.
Yeah. And especially in that opening bar scene and at the Simpson home where they're both watching the wrestling and all the parallels that they draw there.
Yeah, stealing seats and throwing things at the TV and talking about, oh, it's going to be a great match.
Yeah. How about you, Phil? What's a moment from this episode that stands out to you for better or worse?
Oh, there's a lot of... I don't think there's any bad moments in this whatsoever. There's a lot of little good ones, and there's not a lot of laugh out loud ones compared to our last episode.
Sure.
But it's all heart this ep, I think. Like the interaction between Homer and Bart, even up into the end, and I usually really hate the moralistic chat. Like, you've got to promise me this thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's major consequences. Like, it really felt like they had a moment where it was together. And so when you then go downstairs and Marge goes, oh, how'd it go? And he goes, you know what? We've got a really good kid there. And then you just see the top of his head skateboard past the window. Like, you feel betrayed, not only by Bart, but like the moment, because you kind of bought in. You're like, oh, yeah, he's listened and it's been a rational explanation and everything's worked out. And then instantly, he's just,
Yeah. I feel like he
straight
finally
past.
got through and then it's just, nope.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. And I thought, like, there were a lot of little small gags that weren't laugh out loud funny
Yeah.
that I don't really remember getting before. Like, one of the wrestlers was Rasputin, which you all knew, but the other one was Warner von Braun, who I didn't realize who that was until a couple of years ago when I was listening to World War II podcasts, and found out he was the Nazi that was inventing all the V2 rockets to go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was quite a bad dude.
Wow. I didn't know that. I just slide that
Well, here
reference
is
in.
Warner von Braun.
Yeah, and
With a W.
and it says with a W, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And just back on that moment around the kitchen table where Homer's like, he's so self-congratulatory in that moment as well.
I think because he genuinely believes, yeah, Bart's going to be okay. And so
Yeah.
we genuinely believe it. So you're right. I think it's just, it feels like a betrayal of that scene, but he really gets you invested.
Absolutely. How about you, Jimmy? What's a moment from this story, the episode, that stands out to you for better or worse?
The Daredevil pool full of sharks and eels and crocodiles.
Great
and
white
then
sharks, electric
the
eel.
king of the jungle. And they put in a lion, which is just swimming around like he'll somehow still be dangerous in a pond
In
of water.
with sharks.
Yeah.
I do love that shot where you see the shark go past and it's being chased by the lion.
Yeah. I can still hear my mum's cackling laughter over the lion. Like, it's just one of those awesome Simpsons misdirects that, like, yeah, especially how, as he's struggling and the line
The
pulls him
lion's the
back.
thing that gets him back in. Really was the most dangerous.
Yeah, because the shark couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's right. I absolutely loved that bit too. I'll say that the moment from this episode that stands out to me, I just wanted to bring it back to that parallel, the wrestling thing. And then the way that the Truckosaurus commercial unites them.
Oh, yeah.
And then Homer just speeds home because he knows that this is something his son will enjoy, and they meet each other on the lawn, and it's just when the episode gets rolling from there.
And I also have the ad for it's like, if you're going to miss this, you better be dead or in jail. And if you're in jail, break out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a classic ad as well, with the two yelly guys talking over each other.
Speedway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a Speedway ad, wasn't it? Saturday night.
I do love how Marge calls, well, what time is your little truck game?
Yeah.
It's a great little Margeism.
Absolutely. Did you guys ever go to any of these sort of monster truck rally things as a kid? Or, yeah?
I saw Truckosaurus at the Easter show.
Oh, no shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, so did I.
Yeah, I was about to say, you must probably was there, because I was pretty young. I imagine we went as a family. And then there was one randomly out of nowhere, because our church had this family fun night every year. But one year, my mum just went, "Oh, do you and Dad want to go to this monster truck rally instead?" I was like, "Yes." Is this a trap?
It's like, I don't like monster trucks, but I really don't like Jesus.
Yeah, it was just kind of that thing of, I didn't particularly want to go, but I don't want to go to the other thing.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I guess she thought that would unite me and Dad, who are both quiet people who don't know things about trucks.
Avid truck fans.
We weren't that night.
I saw Truckosaurus from a distance at the Easter show, but we didn't actually go into it. And I remember it kind of bummed me out as a kid.
Yeah, I was literally thinking Simpsons.
Yeah.
I remember it being kind of naff.
It's very slow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's super slow, and it only does, like, picks a car up, and then I think it just breathed on it for a bit with, like, a fire.
Yeah.
I think it
flame.
crushed it in his hands,
Yeah,
not
but
in its
it-
mouth.
Not like
Yeah.
it didn't crush it
It wasn't
to where you
dramatic.
could really see the damage. And also they start with like a completely fucked up car anyhow. So it's
Yeah.
hard to see
Yeah.
what it's done to it.
You want to start with pristine so we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny thing is though, like this episode kicked off like if it wasn't already a Truckosaurus thing was already popular, but the Truckosaurus name, that was the Simpsons' whole creation.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's one of these things that since then companies who do this sort of thing want to use that name because it's so
Yeah.
synonymous and popular, but they can't because
And-
the Simpsons own it.
What
Yeah.
else would you call it?
Yeah,
Truckzilla, I guess.
yeah, there we go. I think that's
Way to solve your own problems.
Yep.
But yeah, so never went to like any of those like the dunking dirt bike champions of whatever.
Nah.
Nah.
Again, unless it was like part of something I was already at, like the
Things
Easter
driving
show.
in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I never went to any car rallies or Bathurst or
God, no.
We also haven't seen that thing where they have the four cars drive at each other like a T section they all just miss.
I
Yeah.
think
That's pretty cool.
that was also
Yeah.
a Truckosaurus thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah,
that
that's right. I have seen stunt driving at the Easter show.
Yeah, I think that's the Holden Precision Race.
Yeah, that's
team.
it. Play count. How many times before tonight have you seen this episode?
40.
Yeah.
I reckon probably upwards of nearly 20.
Yeah?
Diggity 6,
Mm.
even more.
Yeah, I couldn't put a number on it. This might be up to 50, 100, I don't know. Like
50, 100.
50, 100, definitely.
Crazy.
I mean, just syndication alone, like season 2's not one that I'd revisit that often on DVDs, but yeah, definitely when I was a kid in syndication, yeah, just hammer this one. 6 o'clock on Channel 10.
Yeah, it would definitely be a thing when they went to non-ratings time, they would just peddle out seasons 1, 2, and 3
Yeah.
of The Simpsons,
Yeah.
seemingly just ad nauseum, and
You still watch them?
you'd still watch them because there wasn't anything else to do.
No. I'm watching the news.
So, wackiness. Let's talk about some of the wacky moments of this episode.
Oh,
Super
yeah.
wacky.
There's a bit where Lisa's recital has both cannons and a giant bell.
Yes, I did love the cannons. That was awesome.
Yeah, I really dug the whole sequence of the school Schubert symphony, unfinished symphony.
Pronounced sherbet.
Oh,
Also, did he do the 1812 overture? Is that what the end of that was?
Yeah, but that's Beethoven.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, if you could use cannons, you
Yeah,
would.
you
Yeah.
just...
I
Once
would.
you've bought the cannons, you have to use them
gotta-
a certain number of times.
Fucking
Otherwise, yeah.
Schubert always shoehorning cannons into every song just because he paid a lot of money for them.
But, you know, they're good for Parker Bell's canon as well.
There's no cannons.
There's no
Parker
cannons in
Bell's-
Parker Bell's canon?
Sorry.
Oh,
There's a great little bit where when they've driven out in front of Truckosaurus, first of all, that's pretty wacky.
yeah.
But then it's coming towards them and Homer just winds the window up.
Yeah.
Great little just visual gag as well. I'm sure I've seen this plenty of times and I've only noticed that at maybe half the time.
Yeah. And I love how they get out of it, out of the act break where, like, oh, you know, most of the frame's intact, so this check should cover
Punctured
it.
radiator.
I love when Truckosaurus is eating the car and he's shaking back and forward, and everyone in the car is sliding from one side to the other, except for Maggie, who's just in her car seat in the middle, just like looking at them
So
as they-
content.
as they go past her one way and then the other.
So oblivious to the danger.
When the kids visit Captain Murdoch
Yeah.
in the hospital, because he just breaks his thumb.
Yeah.
He has to write a message with the pen in his mouth, but he writes the longest possible version of his message to them that he can.
Yeah, and that is a great cut to it, and it's all just scribble.
I was tempted to start note-taking in the same style as him, with my mouth and saying the words at the same time as I'm writing them. If he pulled that off, that'd be some mad skill. But it was a sweet message as well. Your visit was a ray of sunshine on an otherwise cloudy day.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. I like how it's
So
just
verbose.
overly long.
So
in his...
verbose for a man writing with his mouth.
Dear Bart,
And
thank you for
dictating at the same
visiting me in Springfield General Hospital.
Yeah, so specific. Right? It's almost like he was pulling... Stop it.
Stop trying.
That's
Stop
impossible.
Also, you're moving the book rather than your mouth.
Oh, yeah, I meant to have
You
a
have to
broken hand.
pretend like all your bones are broken.
It's hard because
So many of them aren't, I know, but this is called acting.
I've actually never had a broken bone.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Anyone?
wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, couple.
Yeah?
Thumb and part of the neck.
Neck?
Yeah.
Oh, dear
Well,
Christ.
with broken bones. Prolapsed vertebrae. So I
That's
think
right, kids. Football, not even once.
Well, at least not every time.
James, broken bones?
Ankle when I was little.
Yeah?
And then ankle again when I was older.
Oh, shit.
Just little fractures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad break.
Cast and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It was a green fracture. Apparently, I only half remember this. We got to the hospital and doctor's like, does the x-ray and looks at my dad and goes, it's a green fracture. You know what that means? Dad's like, yep. He's like, okay. Well, you distract him. And so it was put both hands on my arms like, now, Ben, what I want you to...
Oh, psych.
Pretty much.
Oh, I would have been psyched. Actually, I remember because I went to the hospital with you for that because I may or may not have caused
You
that
were
arm to break.
inadvertently responsible. Yes.
And they went, you just wait out here, and while you were getting your arm re-broken, I watched The Simpsons.
Wait, and how did you inadvertently cause a broken arm?
There was a
we
mattress
had
on the
made
stairs.
a indoor slide out of a mattress and a set of staircases.
Yep.
And then I can't remember if I...
You went down first, and I went down after you, and ran into you because there's only so many places you can go on a stair slide. And you being older and more bone dense than my brittle bones.
Oh, dear.
And then that's right, Mum was on the phone. And she hated when we would make noise when she was on the phone. She'd throw things at us. You're trying to get her attention because I'm, broken. And she's throwing shit.
She's throwing like the phone book and stuff at me.
That's where the bone break happened.
Yeah, and Mum will get serious as well. It'd start with like the white pages because they're a little bit smaller, and then the yellow pages, and then if there was nothing on hand, just staplers, just whatever came. She'd be like, because she wouldn't want to say shut up while she was on the phone.
Yeah.
So she'd just throw things until we were out of the way enough. And I'm like, Mom, and she's like, "What's your kids be quiet?" I'm like, "Something's wrong."
Oh, that's
That
amazing.
arm's funny.
Yeah.
No, I'm not
It was,
laughing.
I still remember the bone pushing up against the skin.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird.
Oh.
It was pretty gross.
Any other wacky moments?
In the show, of course.
The Three Stooges ward of the...
Yeah.
The horrors
Kids
of the
hospital.
Three Stooges ward.
He broke his leg
I don't-
trying to fly like Superman.
I don't know if this counts as a wacky moment per se, but there's a bit where Bart jumps over Homer sleeping in a hammock with his skateboard.
Yeah.
And you hear this applause off screen. And
Yeah.
Homer wakes up and kind of looks around and goes, "What?" And he goes like, "Oh, hey kids." And he goes, "Thanks."
It's a great bit.
Like he's done a thing.
Or like, the United States of America has the best doctor to daredevil ratio.
Yeah. That was an interesting turn, but yeah, it's one of these things like, fake Michael Jackson hanging out with Bart in his bedroom all night. Like, can you leave me alone with the young'uns? Doctor, we're napping these days.
I mean, the man is in a full body cast.
Yeah, every
True.
bone's broken at that stage.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Are all the bones broken at that
I mean,
stage?
his jaw can't be.
And his thumb
That's
is
true.
He did
His
say
thumb
that's
did
the
just
last
break.
one.
Well, there we go. That was the last one. I will say this was a Dr. Hibbert that didn't laugh in this episode, actually.
Mm.
We didn't get his normal routine.
There is a pretty nice bit where after he takes Bart through the trauma ward, Bart has this moment of, I've really learned something today. Thank you, Dr. Hibbert. And he gives this,
Yeah.
He
I
knew.
know you're fucking with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did say that Bart mentioned a career in death defiance.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
So this was actually the first appearance of Dr. Hibbert.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And this character was created as actually meant to be a bit of a parody on Dr. Cliff Huxtable.
Aha.
Ooh,
Because
awkward.
The Cosby Show.
Oh, Bill Cosby. In
I
the Cosby
boycotting that show.
Show. Well,
Yeah.
you
That's
retrospectively.
don't have to because it's been off the air for
Yeah.
quite some years.
Well, I'm never going to watch it now.
What about Kids Say the Darndest Things?
Massive boycott.
What about Fat Albert?
I don't know what that is. Yeah. I assume that it should be boycotted as well.
So yeah, this was done because apparently after the first season of Simpsons, they moved the show to Thursday nights to go head-to-head in competition with the Cosby Show. So this was like a little nod to that, apparently.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've seen Hibbert in some very Cosby sweaters.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also, I like that they've gone, we're going up against the Cosby Show. What do we need? A humorous black doctor.
Yeah. Obviously.
Even then, like, as a sort of vague parallel, like, Herbert totally came into his own and, like, is not Cosby. But, yeah, aside from the odd sweater or whatever, there's not much of a reference, yeah.
No. I mean, I didn't know that. I've been watching this forever.
Yeah. All right, so how about the heart of this episode? Did you guys feel the bumps?
So much of it.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yeah, I think there are huge bumps between Bart and Homer on that, especially at the end and then before the comic relief of falling down the ravine twice.
Yeah. Yeah, that moment of Homer, like, reaching out to Bart and saying, you have to know what it's like to see a family member risk their life for something stupid. Like, and that's the thing that finally gets to Bart is, like, having the empathic fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that Homer didn't try and reason with him again.
Yep.
There's no more negotiating. It's like, it's obvious the only way I can get through to you is to do this and kill myself.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, this is it. And I was like, wow, that's heavy.
Yeah, especially because Bart goes, Dad, you'll never make it. And he's like,
Don't you think I know?
I know that? Yeah, it's like, I know that you also won't make it as well. It's really good.
This is the way the whole thing plays out with that great heart-to-heart, and then Homer just slowly rolling off screen.
I've never felt closer to you in my life.
I do love that visual gag, and he said, I've never felt closer to you, but is slowly rolling out of frame.
Yeah, so you got that, and then he starts going. I think the first time anyone saw this, that must have been such an amazing moment of he's rolling down, but then you think, okay, he's going to make it, but then he doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, and they have the perfect wacky moment where he's like, I'm going to make it. And he does like a little jump in the air on the skateboard.
A little jig. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then,
but they draw it in a way that he might make it.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that little bit is definitely at the right angle.
Yeah. And when he starts to not make it, he plummets hard. Like, he falls a lot faster than
Like
he was going.
Roadrunner style.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Well, it's very Roadrunner-esque when he was running up the thing to catch Bart in the first place. All that blurred background was
I
very
think
Wile E.
the
Coyote.
canyon kind of look was that kind of style. It was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yep. And a very convenient skateboarding ramp on that canyon as well.
it's interesting that natural formation does occur in 90% of canyons in North America.
Oh, there we go. Take note, skateboarders.
It was very reminiscent to me of a Roadrunner. And I feel like that's done deliberately to remind you, the viewer, that this is a cartoon and it won't end. Even though he's clearly going to plummet to what should be his death.
Yeah.
These are my big signposts. You're watching a cartoon. Don't worry, he won't die.
Yeah, that could be true.
Then they go with you see him fall down, and then it just gets really grim again. It's like you'll see him plummet, and he'll vanish into the canyon, and the next scene he'll be back at the top. But no, you just get to watch him smash every rock on the way down, which Roadrunner never gets to show you. You never see him hit everything. He just falls to the ground in a cloud
You
of
see him
dust.
go.
Yeah.
You never see what happens in the.
It was just like a really clever way of playing with the visual trope and then to like kind of go, you
And the
think it's this, but
expectation
then,
and everything,
It was just really clever.
Maybe that's why it's so hard to watch, because you're subconsciously like, everything's fine. And then,
cut to
not fine.
graphically, no.
Yeah, and then at the end, it just ends on such a sitcom-y line that's like, it's tacky, but I love it, where you think you're brave, try raising my kids.
Yeah, I reckon for like that time frame, that was pretty.
That was
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the way something like the Brady Bunch or something like that would have ended. If,
Yeah.
kids, but in a much different way.
Plus, it didn't need another moment after the moment on the skateboard.
No.
They had their moment.
There was nothing better than
Yeah.
that.
And the other heart moment I want to bring up is Lisa as well, trying to reason with Bart. I thought, she played a real pivotal role in this episode.
Yeah, when he's like, "Oh, Lisa, you narcs, like, I'm sorry, but if you got hurt or even died despite the extra attention, I'd miss you."
Yeah, she's already weighed up the options.
She thought this through.
Yeah. I do like when, after they've seen Lisa's concert and Homer's driving through the traffic, like singing, like, honk, honk, and she's like, I've reached him. Like, it's a nice little moment for her.
Yeah, well, and she said as well at the dinner table, if you don't come to my recital Saturday, start looking for a child psychologist on Sunday.
I do like they get to the recital and Principal Skinner, who sounds weird and young.
Oh, yeah. It's much more deep voice, Principal Skinner, in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. But he goes, welcome to the first in a series of concerts. And I was like, series. And he goes, Schubert's Unfinished Symphony. He's like, oh, good. This won't take long.
Because how much longer was Sherbert planning to make this thing?
Oh, and talk about heart. Oh, Flanders' heart for his son.
Come on, he wasn't that bad.
such an excellent misdirect. Like,
And I love the shot as well when they're kind of at the end of the bells ringing, the cannons going off, and it's like doing a pan of all the audience,
Yeah.
and then back to the pan of the instruments going, and then back, and Homer's just like Richie over his head pointing at his watch.
Yeah.
Like Lisa's somehow in control of the time it takes to do the concert.
and then you see her at the end
Just
slowly
raising in the
lift
air.
up.
Then brings it back into frame to bow.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. So ultimately, though, guys, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
You know it did.
The mostest.
Yep,
Yeah,
perfectly.
this is defining what The Simpsons is. Yes or no, would you watch it again?
Absolutely.
For sure. We're going to watch it again. What playlist do we put it in?
Bart, career aspirations.
Oh, yeah.
Homer head injuries.
Definitely.
good
It's
list.
going to be a very long list.
Lisa musical scenes.
Yeah, recitals.
Yeah, definitely pair this with like the Christmas special. Times that The Simpsons used the Springfield Gorge clip, but that would be this, the clip show, and then the Blunder Years, which we didn't like,
No, that
where we
episode
discovered
sucks.
Smithers' father. Ugh.
What?
There's a great moment in that where like they're trying to get Homer to remember why he's traumatized, and he's like, "Well, maybe it started at Springfield Gorge," and they cut to that clip, and then Lisa goes, "No, Dad, everyone's seen that. We're all sick of that clip," which is an excellent joke in an otherwise terrible episode.
Oh, wow. What about Simpsons are motivated to do something by something they see on TV?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Simpsons
yeah.
watching television is the opener to many of our favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, the
That's
Simpsons
right.
car being wrecked.
Yeah,
It's wrecked
sure.
about 50 times. It's always the same purple car they get.
It was by the same one and the same make.
The Simpsons car. It's,
Hey, it drove them home still.
True.
Yeah.
somehow.
It did actually. Well, there was no damage to the frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's all you need is a frame and wheels. That's
I
what
did
a car
have
is.
melted bumpers. The guys
There's teeth marks at the boot.
yeah, that's just
Trunk.
They'll
Sorry.
they'll buff out. It's fine.
Yeah.
they're
It's funny how you
speed holes.
translate it back into Aussie.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He says trunk and I hear boot.
yeah. Well, like before, you said crocodile when they put in alligators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We keep doing this. We
It's a
translate
croc, mate.
into Australian. Oh, boomerang me dingoes.
Tiny kangaroo down sport.
Yeah, that's good for playlist. Phil, what would you change about this episode?
I don't think there's really anything I could change off the top of my head. Yeah, it's all good. I don't think it could be longer because it's a little bit short compared to the ones now, but that's just because I want more of it.
Mm.
But I don't think there's anything story-wise that's really missing. There's no character motivation that doesn't really make sense.
Yep.
No, I think it's pretty good.
Well, yeah, just on the length as well. Like, Jimmy, you mentioned that you didn't take many notes, and I didn't either. I checked the episode runtime. It was at 20 and a half minutes when the credits were rolling, and it was also an extra long intro as well.
So that is a pretty short app.
Yeah, so I'd say it was probably only a 19, maybe even 18 and a half minute episode. So, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, make it longer. How about you, Jimmy? What would you like to change?
I thought they did a bit too much of the wrestling at the beginning. I didn't think the jokes about the wrestlers' names and the gags there worked well enough to justify showing a lot of wrestling. Although I accept that there was a good use of mirroring between Bart and Homer. Again, the school symphony, the whole gag was just that Homer didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And it could have been done much more quickly, in half that time. And I feel like sometimes early on, the Simpsons writers wanted to kind of do a nod towards culture that legitimized them as saying, we can do fart jokes because we also do a Schumann reference or whatever.
Yeah.
Sherbet. And so I just feel like sometimes early on they did shoehorn in culture to kind of let them get away with doing what was probably at the time some pretty provocative and sometimes crass humor that hadn't really been done on primetime TV before.
Sure.
That's
And
fair.
then I'd give more time to Bart feeling unfulfilled with his 3 jumps because I was like,
Yeah.
he did 4 jumps over nothing in particular. And then suddenly he wants to jump the gorge. Like suddenly he's too upset with how lame his jumps are to not do anything but the gorge. It just progressed real quick, given we'd wasted a lot of time, I think, on wrestling and symphony.
Yep.
That was my only... Otherwise, I loved the episode. I'd change that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
How
fair.
about you, BT?
No, I don't think it's too much. I think what works for me in this one is the way they tell their story is very efficient, and I do really
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like, I like when Lance Murdoch first comes out, it just has a straight cut just to Bart's stunned expression. You already start planting that seed of he's enthralled by this, and there's that
Yeah.
other cut where everyone's got their eyes closed except for Bart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good way to visually storytell his interest in this, like, from the straight away.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of little instances like that throughout this one of, telling the story that way. Yeah, I don't think I'd really want to change too much. I appreciate, the pacing is maybe a little bit different, but I think that comes down to maybe it was the time when they made this, it was cheaper to maybe make some bits longer, which, my other only criticism might be maybe some more jokes, but I think it's more of a victim of, I've seen this so many times, I know all the jokes, so I don't find them funny more. I probably would have found them a lot funny the first 20 times. So yeah, I don't really think there's much I would want to change here.
Just on your point about the action sequences as well, I would like to have seen the actually family getting rescued from Truckosaurus and like the officials like, oh shit, yeah, bring her down and all that sort of stuff.
A bit more reaction from that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that would have added a minute to the episode that, could have definitely been there.
Yeah, just one bit I did actually kind of find a little weird is when they do the bit where it's okay, well, dented fender and punctured trunk, they sort of cover it. Then you cut to the guy who operates Truckosaurus being like, oh, we just feel terrible, so here's half a bottle of domestic champagne. I like that bit, but the bit before it just kind of dragged on for a little bit where I'm like, why does this guy's head look like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a weird shape, yeah.
Very strange looking character.
I think, trim a bit of time out of that because I spent so long wondering why his head looked odd. I had time to think about that.
Yeah, this was actually a weird one for me because I remember our VHS tape of it actually skipped out this whole scene, so it went straight from there getting trapped from Truckosaurus and like we must have overshot the ad break or something because then for me this episode cuts back into where Homer's sitting down with the snacks.
All right, wow.
Yeah, so it's weird. It feels like a fresh scene to me still.
Literally deleted scenes.
Yeah, totally.
You can have all the deleted scenes you want as long as you delete them yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, just on the stunts as well, I made sure to pay special attention because of what we were saying before. The new HD era episodes, they have a lot more money and cost of animation is a lot cheaper. Yeah, there was a lot of static shots going into this, and I think they actually made genius use of making it look so action-packed when really it'd just be Bart skateboarding and just like only eyes or just heads moving,
Yeah, good little cost saving.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of the crowd shots were all just statics. Even the wide shot of like when they're waiting for Bart to come to Springfield Gorge was just a static wide shot that just had a slow move in on it and nothing else. Cleverly done.
Yeah, I think this episode did watching Tennis the Menace, and then this one showed you what happened in 10 years worth of honing their craft and working out what you can do in a cartoon comedy where all the jokes that happen in this episode are organic to the scene. So it all happens natively in the scene they've drawn for you. Whereas 10 years later, they're doing shots of Homer and Marge in bed. They mention the town idiot, and it cuts to a shot of the bedside table. Now, that wasn't set up in the shot before they made the joke.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be there after, but you are happy for them to cut away from the scene and show you a visual gag because you know how cartoon comedies can work.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to see obviously contrast.
Yeah. And I think it says something to the writing when it was cheaper to stay in scene, whereas if you had to animate an entire new section, then you've got to pan to it, draw that bit, then pan back or cut even. So it was just, okay, we've got to stick on this scene. How do we make this bit funny?
Yeah.
I think it also speaks to the evolution of people the audience watching cartoons, because at the moment now we can go to a Family Guy and we can jump cut from a scene into another scene for a joke and then back without having to worry about what happened there? Why didn't that make any sense to the story? Why are these...
Has time passed?
Yeah,
where are
what's
we?
going on? Like you understand intuitively how it works, whereas especially in the first 5-10 years, it would have had to bend like a sitcom. You had to set it up, and if you wanted to show you something different, you had to explain it and move there, finish it off, and then come back and then have the characters react to it. So I think that's a limitation. It's a little bit of the side of the times, I think.
It is cool to kind of see different storytelling and the limits of the cartoon as a vehicle, kind of going from HD, no limits, computers will draw this, we'll just get people to do the voice acting, and then you've way back to the beginning where they were literally drawing by hand cells and telling our story from start to finish. And so you got these kind of beautiful like enclosed narratives, and it was all kind of internally consistent and just a different type of show.
Yeah, definitely. And, we say often that the Simpsons are often a sign of the times that they're in, with exception to the HD era where they're just churning these things out without fucking little regard of the quality.
I think that's exactly the sign of the times.
Yeah.
Now they're just making as much TV as they can because the market's flooded and everyone's trying to grasp any kind of the market that they can because it's so diversified.
Yeah.
Now they're just the cash cow that won't die.
All right, so we're getting into the final moments. Phil, do you have any other notes?
The very first thing I wrote was The wrestling was hosted at the Performing Arts Centre.
Yeah, it's a performing art.
It was also World Class Wrestling, which I think was a little play on WCW, which was a popular wrestling franchise back in the 90s. It was actually my brand. I wasn't a WWF kid. I was all about the WCW and the
You rebel.
the NWO and
What
Sting.
did the C in WCW stand for?
Championship.
I see.
You're a wrestling fan as well, Jim?
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All championships, all the time.
No other kind of chips.
Jimmy, any other notes?
The Russian becomes the mad Russian, and Lisa kind of reflects on how it's just a sign of world.
The happy Russian now.
Yeah. BT, any other notes?
Do like Hibbert's little throwaway line where he's like, yes, all these child injuries are terrible, but it's worth it for all the top-notch entertainment.
Amen.
Yep. And just there's a little visual gag with Wendell at the front of the bus holding his stomach. I was like, nice, because he's always sick.
Again, one of these things that just takes no effort, doesn't
Yeah.
draw any attention.
Just keeps that internal consistency.
Absolutely. All right, time for my final notes. And I need to ask, why did I write the note disorientating? It seemed important.
Oh, when he's picking him up and spinning him around, and the
that's right.
commentator's like, and he's spinning him around. That's got to be disorienting.
I love the British announcer in that. And as well, it was really cool because they did the whole wrestling thing where while the ref back was turned, the guy pulls out the wrench.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Dr.
he gets a
Hibbert...
call back later.
Yeah, Dr. Hibbert mentioned that one of the kids was injured because of a wrench thing from a wrestling match he saw.
Yeah.
I still think it's really weird to see a Dr. Hibbert without him doing his trademark laugh, but
I hadn't got it yet.
characters had to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Dad, aren't you forgetting something? Monster Truck Rally, Grow Thing. No, I don't think so.
Family growth thing.
I
The
do
name
like
of
that's how
Family
he
Growth
packaged
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, family grow thing. Lisa gets really jazzed about Miss Monster Truck.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
the
goes,
truck,
way to break another barrier.
tractor pull. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. And I liked when they're introducing Matt Murdoch over the loudspeaker. He goes, if he's not in action, he's in traction. And they repeat this later in Bart's fantasy where if he's not in class, he's kicking ass.
Risking his ass.
Risking his ass. And I liked how the crowd were chanting for Bart in his fantasy and this transition to Homer gently waking him up.
Yep.
Yeah, just a really nice transition.
I do like that Homer reached just through the hole in the car door to pick him up as well.
Oh, yeah, because the car's just fucked.
And then and Bart goes, Dad, I want to be a daredevil. And he's just like, kids are stupid.
Yeah. These
Kids
things.
say the dumbest thing.
That's it.
The darndest things.
Dumbest, I'm pretty sure he said.
Yeah.
That was a Cosby joke.
Yeah, but I didn't want you to make it.
It was stupid things.
Boycotting it.
It's
a joke, all of it.
Yeah.
Just quietly letting it pass.
I like the visual of Marge kissing Bart, and yeah, you see the Marge's first person perspective, and Bart's like, just wincing at it at all times, and then Homer's like, stop it, Marge, we're mad at him.
Yep.
Yeah, when Hibbert's walking him through the trauma center and he's like, these are kids that have been injured by imitating things they've seen in film, TV, and legitimate theater.
Yeah. Not off-Broadway theater.
No.
Legitimate.
I reckon there would be some injuries from cats.
No.
No? Some people who
No
are...
child saw that.
Surely Fiddler on the Roof is the most dangerous for anyone
Of
trying
course.
at home.
It takes place on a roof.
And you've got a fiddle up there as well. You can't just stand still cautiously.
Yeah.
I really liked Otto's involvement in this episode.
Oh, just with the the radio announcement.
Did anyone pick the song that he was...
The Foxy Lady?
Yeah.
Or was it slightly different version than Foxy
Yeah.
I
Lady?
think all he did was the bam bam.
I think it was Foxy
just
Boxing
to
Lady.
avoid.
Boxing Lady.
So yeah, this is my second favorite Foxy Lady reference in media. Can anyone guess my first?
Wayne's World, maybe?
Definitely. Garth's Fantasy.
Yeah.
Forever when I tie a jumper around my waist. As the only adult here, I feel I should say something.
What?
Cool. Very good.
That was actually a good impersonation.
Well, he is basically Otto.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we've calculated if it takes 10,000 hours to be an expert in something, I'm pretty sure Elliot has watched 10,000 hours worth of Simpsons.
Yeah, math checks out.
Yeah.
Come on, let's check out the math. 10,000 times the minutes.
This is very unlike
600,000.
episodes of Planet Money.
Yeah.
Are you just trying to figure out how many
I'm pretty sure they do the
episodes-
maths before they start the podcast.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're good at maths.
I would not listen to Planet Money if they did the maths live on air whenever they try to work out the GDP.
Nobody would.
We're
Right.
taking 600 episodes at about 22 minutes apiece. Divide that into hours. That's about 220 hours.
Yep.
The 220, let's take 10. You would have had to watch every episode about 40 to 50 times.
God, that sounds right. And my final note is I love the lines between Milhouse and Nelson. Oh, what's taking him so long? He's just building the suspense. Ooh, what a showman.
What a showman.
Very good. It is time to rank this thing. Phil, your turn.
I'm QZing this one straight off the bat.
Wow.
If this isn't a top ranking episode, then I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't know what is.
BT?
For one that's a little bit lighter on the jokes, when we think about cubic zirconia, we think about essentials, and yeah, this is essential to the Simpsons experience. This is a cubic zirconia.
All right. Jimmy?
Ditto.
Oh, ditto.
Doritos?
Dorito.
Yeah,
Zirconia.
cubic
I want some taquitos.
zirconia. Yeah.
So QZ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, look, there's a theoretical part of me that wants to give this a gold because I certainly don't enjoy this one as much as a lot of episodes that I've given cubic zirconia in the past. And, you know, we have just golded ones and sort of said, look, it's iconic as heck, but it just doesn't get up there. And for me, this one does. And I can't exactly quantify it right now, but it's just so iconic and it's so damn perfect. And you know, a lot of the problems I have with it are just a sign of the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. When I was watching, I'm like, is this gold or am I going to, is it favoritism that's keeping me either on or away from the top rank? But then just that whole canyon bit. You first of all get that amazing heart moment, then you just have stacked on brilliant comedy of misdirection. And, oh my God, it works.
Yeah, and it's one of those ones where, as a kid, yeah, you get a lot of visual stuff out of it. But then, yeah, as an adult, you really feel the heart in that moment.
Yeah. And it's back when Bart wasn't evil. He was just a boisterous kind of child.
Adventurous kid.
Yeah, I liked it back then.
All right, guys. Well, this will make this one a unanimous cubic zirconia. This will be joining other Season 2 episodes as The Way We Was, where we get a flashback to see how Homer and Marge first got together in high school.
Nice.
Very beautiful.
Classic, yep.
And Brush with Greatness, where Marge paints Ringo Starr's
Ah,
portrait
that's
and also
excellent.
Mr. Burns's. Other such episodes. Let's see if we can find one that we've done with you, Phil.
Colonel Clink.
Oh, yeah. At The Last Temptation of Homer from Season 5.
Yeah,
can't-
such a good
I
one.
can't tell you how much I laughed at that episode.
That
It
was
so
such a good one,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Oh, and the last one we reviewed with
Oh,
you,
no.
Jimmy. Homer Loves Flanders will also be joining
Oh, that was
the ranks
classic.
with that.
Yeah.
Homer the Great, the Stonecutters episode, 2001 Greyhounds, the See My
See
Vest.
My Vest.
Oh, it's just making Jimmy sad now. He's missed all these excellent episodes. Yeah, The Who Shot Mr. Burns's, Bart Sells His Soul, 22 short films, Homer the
22 short
Smithers.
films.
Like,
That's pretty good.
yeah, this absolutely deserves to be up there with
Yeah.
all those guys.
That's a hell of a fucking good list we got going.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It really makes me proud, actually, that cubic zirconia, unanimous cubic zirconia, is actually the most populated rank out of all the rankings in.
Is it really?
Yeah. And second is unanimous participant.
We know what we like and we know what we hate.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so before we get out of here today, guys, is there anything that you've been checking out lately? Podcast, music, film, TV, anything you want to plug? We'll start with you, BT.
Second season of Glow, I've been watching that. That's pretty good. Darkest Dungeon, still playing that, still good.
Yeah.
And also want to plug my own mild thing. It's July now, and I have a tradition of celebrating Fry July, where we appreciate all things Futurama. So if you haven't checked it out for a while, go back, watch some good old classic Futurama. # Fry July.
How about you, Phil?
I've watched season 1 and 2 of The Fall, which is an old series from like 4 or 5 years ago with Gillian Anderson in it.
I have heard of that.
It was really, really good, got really better, and then kind of fizzled.
Then
That's
it
a shame.
fell.
And then it collapsed. But there's another season, so I'm very confused as to how that happens. So I'll fill you in next time. But yeah, unfortunately, everything else has just been working of late.
Working on all, probably don't care to promote the show you're working on?
I work on MasterChef at the moment, but I've only got 2.5 weeks. So good luck firing me.
Nice.
Who have they brought on this year as a celebrity? Is it Zumbo or Heston or...
We've had everyone. We've had Zumbo. We had Prince Charles.
No shit.
Yeah, Prince Charles came for an episode. Apparently, they watch it in the castle, Buckingham Palace.
I guess they have to do something.
Yeah, Because, I don't know. They must have all the TV channels.
I'd be riding a bike around Buckingham Palace. Like, I'd be on a push bike doing
for
BMX
sure.
jumps and stuff.
Yeah, you'd have so many broken arms.
Yeah. All of
Falling into corgis.
That's what
afford it.
actually Prince Harry did. He wanted to jump Buckingham Palace before Prince Charles stopped him. And
Yeah. It's an interesting story.
Just wanted to
Actually,
jump
there's
the
kind of a
corgis.
really good sitcom in there somewhere.
oh yeah,
Actually, yes.
Just really bored rich people with an enormous empty house. I assume it's empty.
There's a comedy about. There's a British like
Parodying the royal family.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
there's a porno about it. Can anyone guess what it's called? Buckingham Palace.
Oh, that's good.
That's not even what I was going to go with. But
Mm.
Jimmy, what would you like to mention that you've been checking out lately that you've liked?
I've been watching kung fu movies.
Nice.
Which
Nice.
Just like them. And the other night I watched Big Trouble in Little China, which isn't a
Oh.
kung fu movie. Has some kung fu in it.
Yeah.
Also has
But
Kurt Russell.
such a
Yeah.
ridiculous B-grade awesomeness.
It's such a good
so
movie.
good.
Yeah, it's just top to bottom great. So and the weird dudes who like come down from the sky with giant hats and just do kung fu.
Yep.
It's like, what is this movie about? I love it.
I
It's
like how
about a lot of
none of
blow.
it's explained. It's
No.
like, this is the Abominable Snowman Bigfoot thing, and this guy has a face like a foot. And the Kurt Russell's just like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll shoot you with my Uzi.
Let's do
How
that.
many? And like, you know, in 80s movies when Uzis are everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, and the best part
And
is that in the
infinite ammo.
in the final big group battle, Kurt Russell, as he goes into battle, fires his gun in excitement, shoots a piece of rock off the ceiling that knocks him out. And so
That's right, he misses the
spends
whole
final
battle,
battle
doesn't
passed out on the floor.
I forgot about that.
I really need
that's
to check
a
out.
movie.
And yeah, I'll say the thing that I've been absolutely loving lately, and I've watched it twice now, which is rare for me for a stand-up special, but Hannah Gadsby's Nanette, I honestly think this is redefining stand-up. I think this will be remembered as a very pivotal bit of stand-up. Like, it's already setting the world on fire. I think a lot of people have been talking about it at the moment, but yeah, it's on Netflix right now. It's very, very heartfelt and powerful, so you don't watch it when you're in the mood for stand-up. You watch it when you're in the mood to really feel. Like, she has a lot of great jokes in it, but she just brings it down with such brutal honesty at the end in a way that's just fucking inspiring, to be honest. Yeah, so Hannah Gadsby's Nanette, I just can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah, cool. I'll check it out. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that about does it for the Simpsons Index. Thank you for listening. Yeah, let's get out of here. That's been BT Calloway.
Psych.
That's been Phil Calloway.
Hello and goodbye.
And that's been Jimmy Mac.
There you guys.
And I've been your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill. That's all the mustard in the house!
Thank you for listening to the Simpsons Index podcast, which is also an online spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. You can chat to us online at facebook.com/The Simpsons Index or at Simpsons Index on Twitter. And now, please stay tuned for the bonus scenes.
The first one will close, but the second one won't. But if you just pull it over, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot
Start of a song. The first one will close, but the second one won't. But you just pull it over, it's fine.
Hey,
I went home with Mrs. once, but she had a bottle of wine. Huh?
hey.
Music
I was about to say, for
No.
someone who hates...
You
I like-
secretly got a love of music.
I like singing. I hate singing in TV shows and movies. Who's the major sponsor of Olympic Stadium now?
It changes so many
Yeah, I
times.
know.
It's fine
Yeah.
that you don't know.
No, I'm sorry, but that one's
ANZ?
Has been ANZ
Hasn't been
for like
ANZ
a
for like
decade.
10 years.
Who is
yeah.
it?
I've no idea. It used to be,
It was All Phones,
And
then it was Aussie,
and then it was
Oh, that's
Allianz,
right.
and then now it's something like,
It was Acer for a while.
Yeah.
oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
And now it's something like New Cadbury's Dove or something.
Did you remember before the Sydney Entertainment Centre shut that it was the Qantas Credit Union Bank Arena?
That was stupid. This was when everyone has exactly the same amount of money and no one has more clout than the
Yeah.
other one.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was like the IRS burger version of
It
Stadium.
was the most unfun name humanly possible.
ASO now is Kudos Bank Arena.
Who the fuck is Kudos Bank?
It doesn't matter. They won't be around in 2 years.
I like how everyone wants to invest in this place and no one lasts.
No. From ASO to All Phones to Kudos. Like,
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never
Soon
seen a
it'll be-
Kudos Bank branch.
Yeah.
Or, even
Or their
heard the
credit
word.
card.
The way
Yeah.
things are going, soon it'll be the Simpsons Index Arena.
Sweet.
I assume we'll get box seats when that happens.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
And also, they'll always be empty because these two are never
Yeah,
going to.
we're not going.
You're
They're
gonna
not
watch
having-
rugby, like watching rugby league.
Yeah, they're not going to have
What's on
jousting
tonight? Hockey.
or,
Fuck off.
yeah.
Yeah, hockey was an all right sport to watch. The hot dogs were
Hot dogs
huge.
were awesome.
Yeah, if it ain't
Well, I mean, you had two, and you were.
No, I had like 6. I tried to set a record for hot dogs and beers.
Oh.
I was so sick.
And you were so far behind on that record.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. He got it.
Oh, you know why he didn't? Psych!
Nah, fuck, he got me. I did flinch then.
That does work. I still love that. I don't know if you can see it from Elliot's computer monitor, but he has a photo of a handwritten list of the questions. It still cracks me up every time.
It's literally that one.
He's got the list in front of him as well.
It's easy to have it in front of him.
I know. It just looks ridiculous. Also, you can tell he's excited because his knees are jiggling.
Oh.
Not that way.
There's a way for... I admit that was a very provoked
Shut it down before it starts.
Yay, gonna have that song in my head the whole time.
Yeah, screw job.
Gonna have so
Shut
much
up,
chowder.
chowder butt.
We had our international guest on the other week, and the episode that we were covering was about Florida. And The Simpsons mentioned it was America's Wang, and I told him all about Map of Tasmania. And
I think you confused the fuck out of me.
yeah. But yeah, every country has got a genital geography joke.
Yeah, and Tasmania is much better when you call it Van Diemen's Land.
I know, so much cooler.
Van Diemen's
Yeah,
Land?
it was his original name.
Get fucked!
Yeah.
They called it Tasmania?
Instead of Van Diemen's Land. Yeah,
Because
it's
Abel
badass.
Tasman changed it. And also because he
Abel.
wasn't Dutch, I suppose.
Oh.
And he also wasn't badass.
That's true. I don't know who this Van Diemen was, but if Hollywood taught me anything, he was a cool dude.
Oh, yeah. We're Van Diemen's purebloods. Crikey.
That'll like divide Tasmania. There'll be like the Van Diemen separatists. Like,
Ooh, the Van Diemen's in the
I think you found a few at least here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say right now, if there's no heavy metal band called Van Diemen's, then
Van
that is
Diemen
just a waste.
separatist.
Come on.
write it down.
Yep.
One day you guys will actually have to start a band.
Yep. What is a moment from this story that started out for you for better or for the god
You want
damn?
to take that again?
Why not?
Me, what's a bit from this story that stood out to me for better or for worse? Well, I'd honestly have to say it's going to be the really...
I'll set it up again. Yeah, am I going to watch
Lord, no.
Channel 7, 9, or ABC and watch the news like a pleb?
No.
Like, I mean, Richard Moorcroft's pretty awesome.
I
But
think we know why Channel 10's struggling in the ratings these days.
Yeah,
The
'cause-
Project.
I think that Tom Gleeson in like under a week could hijack the Logies and get Grant Denyer the gold really demonstrates how shitty our TV industry is.
You just said so many words that I know, but I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Actually, I don't either.
Grant Denyer is the guy who advertises Just Cuts hairdressers for men.
He's also 4'2".
Yeah.
He's super short.
But no, so Grant Denyer was, you know, a news personality and he hosted Family Feud for a while there, but they axed
Oh.
Family Feud. And Tom Gleeson, who's an Australian comedian, launched a campaign like literally last week to get Grant Denyer the gold Logie and encouraged everybody to write in, vote in, and Grant Denyer won the gold despite his show being cancelled for
Have
like...
Logies happened?
Yeah, it happened on Sunday.
Oh.
The fact that also just blew us by
Yeah.
really shows how
Well,
shitty...
they're the Logies, for God.
Can I just
no one's
say
ever given a
that
fuck.
a bunch of people on TV giving themselves awards on TV
Yeah.
Yeah.
is massive wank.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't see, like, the best authors in Australia sit around and write a book about how the best books of the year are themselves and give themselves more awards in their books.
They might, we just don't know.
Maybe.
But
I-
marketing
what
could
I-
be terrible.
What
yeah.
I could never get over is the Logies is like, okay, we have categories, 50 awards across these categories for the 8 shows on Australian television.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to win one. Like,
Yeah.
you pretty much...
I mean, Blue Healers still wins an award every year. I
Yeah,
think.
they've been cancelled for 20 years.
Yeah, Lisa McCune has really bad back issues from just carrying all of her Lokies.
Yeah, that's it.
She's
Yeah.
a babe.
Oh, and SBS and ABC are the only ones that are actually trying to generate original Australian programming, unlike, you know, Channel 10, and I
Well,
probably
now,
shouldn't
hang
shit
on.
on those guys today if you're on
Channel
our show.
7 does have Doctor.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What's Doctor?
Oh, one of the worst pieces
Are
of
you on it?
shit.
No, I've only ever seen the ad for it, but it's one of those shows where you just go, I'm going to hate this.
What's it called? Doctor.
Doctor.
Like scripted or...
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
scripted comedy drama.
Oh, shit.
High life living, slightly coked up city doctor gets in trouble or something.
Gets sent to the country.
Something contrives him to get sent back to the country, to his old hometown, where now he's slightly more of a celebrity because everyone knows he's famous, but he's got so many issues. And also, the 4 single hot women who are still in this country town all want him, and all manner of things happen.
With sexy results.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just only a step above a soap opera.
Has the voice changed? Has Nancy? Is it Nancy Cartwright?
Yeah.
Has her voice has she
I mean,
gone through
30
puberty
years,
or something?
She's 30 years older. Did you say she's gone through menopause?
Puberty.
Oh, okay.
The
It was,
opposite
it, was
of
a, it
menopause.
was a bad joke. Now it's weird.
It's unmenopause. It's Menno start.
It just sounded really creepy. I wondered if maybe they're just
Still accurate.
No.